toss the ball back and forth. What does the city say? Right. Because the city...
All right, everybody. It's 6:11.
Chuck.
Get whatever food and drink you want, and we'll start in 4 minutes.
Another one.
At 6:15, according to this clock.
Is there alcohol?
Here.
Cynthia Gagne said she might be late, so at this point she is excused. Gwen Henry is excused. April Jones.
Here.
Malene Albrecht.
Here.
Kelly Miller.
Here.
Kay Nicholas is excused. Thomas Norman.
Present.
Ray Regalado.
Here.
Angela Sumner. Chris Valle.
Here.
All right. That is 13. We have a quorum.
All right. What I'm going to do, since we don't have the person who's going to run our elections up front, let's jump down to general public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have, I don't see any paper here, so I'm not sure if we have anybody doing non-agenda item things. No?
Those 4 guys over there, but they didn't do anything else.
Okay. So we're through with agenda item number 3. Why don't we take a break for a second?
What?
And give this guy, he said he's right down the street.
Can we go to a 5-minute or 10-minute recess? If that's the proper way to take a break.
Oh,
What?
5-minute recess. Without objection? I hate doing this. This is terrible.
We can't do the consent calendar? We can't do the next thing on the agenda?
Well, it's consent calendar, and that's part of like the real agenda.
Yeah, we can't really do business until we have the officers.
So we have agenda. So we're 5-minute recess. And okay.
Good afternoon, good evening.
hello.
So, I was here as you all are eating. I was here around 5:40, trying to get some food at In-N-Out. And so, I left it in the car and ran in. So that's where I was like for the last 30 minutes. So, I'm here. Thank you for patiently waiting. And as soon as I'm done, I'm going to run out, grab my food, and scarf it down. So please don't judge me. I haven't eaten all day.
Did you say you hadn't eaten all day? You mean eaten?
A little bit of both. I eat. That's how messed up I am right now.
So we're at agenda item number 2, and if you would do the honors of running us through the election.
Sure. Agenda item 2 is open for the selection of officers. And then once again, good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Johnson. I am the NEA, Neighborhood Empowerment Advocate for Northwest San Pedro. I work for Empower LA. So with that being said, we'll start off with agenda item 2, officers selections. Any nominations for A? President, would you like to run through them all at once or?
No, one at a time.
One at a time.
As they're listed, yeah.
Okay. Item 2, agenda item 2, A, President. Are there any nominations for President or any self-nominations? Yes, Adrian.
Ray Regalado.
I second.
Are there any other nominations?
Well, Ray, do you
I was
accept?
going to.
I accept it.
Okay. There you go. Are there any other? Going once. Self-nomination? No? And you want to move them all at once, right? Or you want to move them individually?
Individually.
Individually. Okay. Ray accepts. Is there a motion? Go ahead.
I'll do the roll call.
Gotcha.
And per our bylaws, just so everybody knows, the highest ranking officer not running for president is ineligible to vote for president, except in the case of a tie. So that means that for this one, Chris, as vice president, cannot vote. And then I'll just say this now, once we have a president, that person is in the same position for all the rest of the other officers being selected, so they will be ineligible to vote except in the case of a tie for the rest. So, since we only have one, we can do it as a yes or no. John Barbera.
Yes.
Ben Bruxfort.
Yes.
Christina Calandra.
Yes.
Vic Christensen, aye. May Cordero Herrera.
Yes.
Adrian Fernandez.
Yes.
April Jones.
Yes.
Melanie Lebrecq.
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
Thomas Norman.
Yes.
Ray Regalado.
Yes.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Okay, that's everybody. No no's. Let's see. We got that's 12 ayes, no no's.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Ray.
Thank you.
Now, would you like for me to continue this process, Ray, or would you like for me to hand it over to you?
No. You handle the whole thing.
Okay, just double checking. Next up, we have B, Vice President. Are there any nominations for the Vice President? Yes.
Thomas Norman.
Do you accept? Yes. Are there any other nominations for Vice President? Or self-nominations? Going once?
Chris? Ryan?
Do you accept?
Yes.
Yes. Are there any further nominations for Vice President? Going once? Any self-nominations? Twice? Okay. Vic?
Okay, this time we do need to say names. Oh,
The lawyer wants to give them an opportunity to speak.
oh, sorry.
They have the opportunity to speak because there's a challenge between whichever. Well, Tom, because you were nominated first, would you like to go first?
Sure. Request your vote. I'm spent the last year on sabbatical, so wasn't as present as I've been, but I'm quite refreshed. Just got elected Vice President of Development for Budget Advocates and planning to spend a lot more time on neighborhood council-related stuff for the next year. Been working on planning and land use, environmental sustainability committee, and if it's this board's will, I'm happy to serve as vice president for this year. I've got a lot of ideas. I think I could work well with the group, but don't want to say anything negative about Chris because I think he's done a nice job as well. So if you're ready for new leadership, I'm ready to step up. If not, I wish Neighborhood Council, Northwest, and all the neighborhood councils the best. Thank you.
I appreciate being nominated, and I look forward to being able to continue, assisting Ray and doing other things behind the scenes at the executive committee. Let's see how it goes.
Thank you. With that being said, the nominations are closed. Chris.
Okay, this time we can't do yes or no. Have to give a name. The names are not yay and nay. Okay, John Barbera.
Chris.
Ben Bruxfort.
Chris.
Christina Calandra.
Tom.
Vic Christensen Thomas. May Cordero Herrera.
Chris.
Adrian Fernandez.
Thomas.
April Jones.
Thomas.
Melanie Lebrecq.
Thomas.
Kelly Miller.
Chris.
Thomas Norman.
Vote for myself, Thomas.
Angela Sumner.
Chris.
And Chris Feig.
Chris.
Okay, we have 6 for Ray. 6 for Thomas. And, okay, here's the exception. We have 6 for Thomas and 6 for Chris. So, as president, Ray gets to throw the tie-breaking vote.
No pressure.
Both these guys are great, and I'm going to go ahead and go with Chris.
Okay.
That being said, welcome to your Vice President, Chris.
Thank you.
Next, we have Secretary. Are there any nominations for Secretary?
Hi, I'd like to nominate Ben for secretary.
I'll second.
Who was that?
Ben,
Who said? Who? April?
you accept?
Yes, I accept.
Thank you. Are there any more nominations for Secretary?
Vic Christensen.
Vic, do you accept?
Yes.
Thank you. So far, we have Ben and Vic. Are there any self-nominations or any more nominations? Going once. Going twice. Okay, nominations are closed. Ben, would you like to do us the honors?
Yes. I'd like to thank April and the board for our nomination. Since joining the council in February, I've appreciated and continued to be in support of the work that this council does. I think stepping into the secretary role, keeping an eye on the communications and the outputs that we vote on and move forward as a council is important to me. Ensuring that gets done in a timely manner and with professionalism and integrity to our values and mission. So I would be honored to serve as the secretary of this board. Thank you.
Thank you. And Vic, when you're ready.
I've been doing this since I joined the board, actually. And I've been trying to keep everybody straight and on track on what they're supposed to be doing and not supposed to be doing. And I'd like to keep continue doing that.
Thank you. With that being said, looks like because Vic is nominated, Adrian's going to take the lead on this one. Thank you, Adrian. And when you're ready.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, so A is Ben and B is
Can you?
Yeah, okay.
A is Ben and B is me and that's on my spreadsheet. So anybody listening is not going to know what A and B means, but
Okay.
that's just say the names and then do the right column.
Okay. John Barbera.
Ben.
Ben Bruxford.
Ben.
Christina Calandra.
Ben.
Ben? Okay. Vic Christensen.
Vic.
May Cordera Herrera.
Ben.
Adrian Fernandez. Ben. April Jones.
Ben.
Melanie Lebrecq.
Vic.
What was that? Kelly Miller.
Ben.
Thomas Norman. Angela Sumner.
Vic.
Kristen Valle.
Ben.
Give me a minute. I have Ben at 8 and Vic at 4.
Congratulations, Ben. You're a new secretary of the Northwest Science. Just as a side note, I do want to make sure that the department has something alongside of the neighborhood council to honor Vicky and service as secretary. So I will need some support with that as well. Okay. Next, we have treasurer. Any nominations for treasurer?
I'll make a nomination. Melanie.
I'll second that.
Melanie, do you accept?
Yep.
Y'all looking at me like, duh. I'm like, I don't know. You might be like, oh, might not want to do it.
Did she say no?
No, she said she accepts.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any more nominations for treasurer? Any self-nominations? Going once? Twice? No. Okay. I'm like, do we open that?
Huh?
Oh, there's no further nominations.
I don't-
Nominations are closed.
I don't need to say anything. Just thanks. I mean, I've been doing this over 10 years, and I can do it in my sleep.
Please don't.
That's the greatest political speech I've
Ditto.
ever heard.
Ready?
Yes. Ready when you
Okay, John Barbara,
It's a tough one. Melanie.
Dan Bruxford, Melanie. We can do yes or no too if you want. Christina Colander,
Yes.
Vic Christensen, I, Mel Cordero Herrera,
Yes.
Adrian Fernandez,
Sure, yeah. I think Melanie.
April Jones,
Melanie.
Melanie Lebrecht,
Yes.
Ella Miller,
Yes.
Thomas Norman,
I vote for her in my sleep.
Angela Sumner,
Yes.
Chris Vay.
Melly Mel.
It's unanimous. Yep, that's 12 ayes, no nays.
Thank you. Welcome to your returning treasurer, Melanie. Now we get to even more fun stuff.
Oh my gosh.
The second signer. Are there any nominations for the second signer?
John Barbera.
John Barbera.
John Barbera, do you accept?
Can I think about it?
Yes, you can.
No, I got it. Yes, I do.
Are there any more nominations for the second signer? Any self-nominations for the second signer? Going once? Going twice. Nominations are now closed. Ready when you are, Vic.
John Barbera,
Yes.
Dan Bruxford,
Yes.
Christina Colander,
Yes.
Vic Christensen, I, May Cordero Herrera,
Yes.
Adrian Fernandez,
Yes.
Cynthia, April Jones,
Yes.
Melanie Lebrecht,
Yes.
Kelly Miller,
Yes.
Thomas Norman,
Yes.
Angela Sumner,
Yes.
and Chris Vay.
Yes.
That's 12 ayes and no nays.
Thank you, John, for your service.
You're welcome.
Because, every roll is a big roll. I was like, you know what? We ain't going to do that. We're going to clap for every roll, you know? Next, we have the alternate signer. Just as, if not just as important or more important than the second signer, right? Got to be available. Any nominations for the second signer? Oh, excuse me. Alternate signer.
John, who are we going to put in there? So somebody that's interested in do this, self-nominate yourself if you want to be a second signer. You'll have to be part of the Budget and Finance Committee,
Do we?
and you fill in when John isn't here to sign stuff.
We have to be there.
And you have to go do financial training.
But yeah, I have to be at the budget and training.
Correction.
Yeah,
This time around, everybody does the finance or officer training, so
Yeah.
So you might as well.
no one can hide.
I have my
Oh, wow.
financial training. But I just
Yeah.
have
Is
to
that
do
the
it.
way the new training
Yes.
is?
That's why everyone
Okay.
has to take it over.
Oh, wow. Thomas, are you interested in doing that?
Oh no, I mean I have the training. I just can't make the meeting, the committee meetings. That's the only thing.
It's the first Wednesday of every month, and it's real quick. It's like 15 to 20 minutes usually for the meeting on
Like
Zoom.
that meeting.
On Zoom.
He's not showing up for meetings. First Wednesday of the month,
Yeah, I'm going to decline. What time on Wednesday?
5:30. It's like 15, 20, 30 minutes max usually.
I have academic senate that goes to like 5:15 in Carson, so I'm going to decline.
It's on Zoom.
It's a Zoom meeting, right?
It's on Zoom.
Any?
I'll self-nominate myself.
Christina.
Yay, Christina.
Any other nominations? Self-nominations? Going once? Going twice? We're ready when you are, Vic.
John Barbera.
Christina.
Ben Bruxford.
Christina.
Christina Calandra.
Me.
Vic Christensen, aye. May Correa Herrera.
Yes.
Adrian Fernandez.
Yes.
April Jones.
Yes.
Melanie LeBrecq.
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
Thomas Norman.
Yes.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Chris Vai.
Yes.
Okay, 12 ayes, no nays.
Congrats on your new role, Christina. Next, we have the bank card holder.
Yeah.
Any nominations of self?
Nominate Melanie.
Melanie.
Yeah.
Yes. Any other nominations? Self-nominations? Seeing that there's none, we can close the nominations. And Vic, ready when you are.
John Barbera.
Yes.
Ben Bruxford.
Yes.
Christina Calandra.
Yes.
Christensen, aye. May Cordero Herrera.
Yes.
Adrian Fernandez.
Yes.
April Jones.
Yes.
Melanie LeBrecq.
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
Thomas Norman.
Yes.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Chris Vai.
Yes.
Okay, 12 ayes, no nays.
Congrats, Melanie. The treasurer and the card holder.
Yep.
Last but not least, second bank card holder. Are there any nominations or self-nominations for that?
Vic Christensen.
Vic, do you accept?
Yes.
Yes. And then I heard another nomination.
No.
Oh.
Same one.
Okay. I'll just. Any other nominations? Self-nominations going once? Going twice? Okay. Adrian, when you're ready to take the vote.
That's right.
This time I'm not eating it.
Now it's just yes or no. So A is yes, B is no. On the column. What? Two. No, flip. That one. Second. Bank card holder, if you can read my writing.
It's all on this. It's all on this one.
That's the yes.
Okay.
And the B is the no.
Okay. John Barbera.
Yes.
Ben Bruxford.
Yes.
Christina Calandra.
Yes.
Vic Christensen.
Aye.
May Cordero Herrera.
Yes.
Adrian Fernandez. Yes. I didn't have food in my mouth the last time. Cynthia Gagne.
Yes.
April Jones.
Yes.
Melanie LeBrecq.
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
Kane, he's not here. Thomas Norman.
Yes.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Christian Vai.
Yes.
Yep, 13 yes. Yes, unanimous.
Thank you, Adrian, and congrats on continuing second bank card holder. With that being said, congratulations to all of you who contributed to the Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council. Congrats on your new roles, if this is your new role as well. I'm here to support as your NEA. However, there's no better expertise than those folks who have served in those positions before you, and as well as alongside of you. So what I'm saying, Ben, is reach out to him before you reach out to me. I'm joking, but I'm sure there's a lot of support that the team and the council can offer each other. So please continue to work collaboratively and effectively. With that being said, Mr. Chair, I hand the meeting over back to you. Thank you.
Enjoy your food.
Thanks.
It's cold.
Daniel, thank you very much for helping us with this agenda item. Appreciate it.
That was cold.
Okay, that brings us to the close of agenda item number 2. We're going to jump down to the consent calendar. That is agenda item number 4. We have 3 items under the consent calendar. Approve the June 8th Stakeholder Board meeting minutes. Item B is approve the appointment of Christina Calandra and Ben Bruxford.
I could spell it.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me feel very great. And Ben as co-chair for Environment and Sustainability Committee. Also including April Jones as a member of that same committee. And C, approve the appointment of April Jones to the Youth and Outreach Committee. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone?
I'll just briefly thank them for their willingness to do so, and I'm excited to see what's coming out of the committee, having served in the past. So appreciate people stepping up.
Thing is long.
Okay. Any other comments?
Their thing.
I see no other hands. So,
Yeah.
He's got it.
we have a roll call sheet, voting sheet. Voting sheet.
We'll have to have all that.
Vic?
We'll have to get it, all the stuff from him or something, or make up our own. Okay. I don't know. I have what I use. I'll show you.
Do you have something we can use?
Normally, that's hard to do my vote counts and then put it on the
Okay, that's great. So we're going to call for the vote. Thomas Norman.
Yes.
No switch.
Kay Nichols. Absent. John Barbera.
Yes.
Vic Christensen.
Aye.
Ray Regalado.
Yes.
Ben Bruxford. Aye. Christy.
Ben, I think your mic might be off. Yours has a switch on it.
Yep, there we go. Sorry, that's hot.
She's gone. She's absent. Christine Barbera.
Yep, Christina's up. Adrian?
Yes.
Adrian?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. April Jones?
Yes.
Melanie Lebrecq?
Yes.
Kelly Miller?
Yes.
Angela Sumner?
Yes.
Chris Valle?
Yes.
May?
Yes.
Herrera? Christina Calandra?
Yes.
Great. So Ben Bruxford and Christina Calandra are elected as co-chairs with April as a member of the Environment and Sustainability Committee.
No, outreach.
Outreach
committee.
No, that's correct.
That's correct.
No, environment and sustainability.
I don't think Cynthia was asked to vote.
Outreach on the agenda for some reason.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cynthia.
How do you vote, Cynthia? With consent calendar.
This is approving the appointment of Christina Calandra and Ben Bruxford as co-chairs, members of Environment and Sustainability Committee, and April Jones as a member of the same committee.
Yes.
Great.
Did we get the time that Cynthia arrived
Also is youth and outreach.
on the record?
Oh, we were doing all of those wrapped. Sorry, we were doing all of those wrapped together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Consent calendar, yes.
And the minutes from last meeting. So that all is part of the consent.
Yep. Yep.
And then it goes, all of that is all part of the consent.
Okay. Good.
Great. Yes.
Got it. Great. Thank you. All right. Moving on to agenda item number 5. These are the motions. We'll start off with budget and finance. Melanie?
Okay. First one is, where's my agenda? Where'd it go? First one is for the MER, and that is not out of committee because we did not have it yet. We get it. It generates the 5th business day, and if there's holidays or anything like that in there, then it delays it too. So if our meeting's like on the first Wednesday and it's the first of the month, we will not have it. So that being said, right now, this is not out of committee, so I need someone to move it.
So moved. Norman?
Thomas. And a second? John? Okay, now discussion. One thing I want to bring up, the net available on here on the MER is $10,292.43. After discussions with with the city clerk's office and Empower LA, I guess city council, right at the end of all the briefings for the budget, passing it and sending it back to the mayor and everything, they voted to allow for full rollover of whatever leftover funds neighborhood councils had. So if it's over 10,000, you can still roll it over. So we will be getting all of the $10,292.43. So, which is awesome. So any further discussion? Call for the vote then. Thomas?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Victor Christensen?
Aye.
Ray Regalado?
Yes.
Ben Buxford?
Yes.
And Adrian Fernandez?
Yes.
April Jones?
Yes.
Cynthia? Tanya?
Yes.
Melanie Obrecht, yes. Kelly Miller?
Yes.
Angela Sumner?
Yes.
Chris Valle?
Yes.
And then no Mel eligible. Christina Calandra?
Yes.
Okay. And then the next is pretty much mirror to everything. It'll show you everything that was paid, everything that rolled over, and what was left, and then the $10,292.43. And this is out of committee. Any discussion? Call for the vote. Thomas?
Aye.
John Barbera?
Yes.
Vic Christensen?
Aye.
Ray Regalado?
Yes.
Ben Buxford?
Yes.
Adrian Fernandez?
Yes.
Cynthia Gagne?
Yes.
April Jones?
Yes.
Melanie LeBrecq, yes. Kelly Miller?
Yes.
Angela Sumner?
Yes.
Chris Valle?
Yes.
Mel Herrera? Oh, no, she can't. Sorry. Christina Calandra?
Yes.
Okay. One last thing, too, I want to mention. I finally got an answer today. I was telling these guys from the city clerk's office after numerous phone calls and emails. So remember when I told you that there's like files from like 2006, financial files, like tons of them. I've got bank boxes full, and I'm like, do we need to keep all of these? I got permission today, and I'm going to go get an estimate from a couple of different places. And I got approval today to shred. We can use neighborhood council funds to have them all shredded. Have to leave 3 years is all we have to store. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. So but it's going to be probably expensive because you pay usually per pound, so it's probably going to be $100 to $150 to shred all that. But they said we could do it, so.
Okay. Such a whisper. There's no contractor that, like, for the municipal building? I was thinking, don't they have a bunch of other city offices who shreds their stuff, and are they already being paid for that?
I don't know. Drew? Is there a city contractor for shredding stuff? No. Okay.
I'll do it.
Good question.
Only the info. You got a shredder?
Okay, that takes care of that. Thank you.
Sorry, we can look at LA. So other cities will have contracts in place with their trash providers to provide shredding. You know, sometimes we see shred days and here or there. The city building does not have that.
The only thing is, this stuff, since 2006, we're talking boxes of bank boxes. Trying to get it so I don't have to store it anymore.
I mean, I don't know how it works.
So according to the city clerk, we have to pay for it, our neighborhood council. There's no provision for it anywhere else other than through them, through us paying to have it done.
So you can pick any vendors if we don't have that.
Huh?
You can pick any vendors if we don't have that.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm going to go get some estimates of a vendor to just shred it for us and be gone of it. Right. So, have to see. I know Office Depot does it too, but I don't know.
Does it too.
Huh?
Right now, UPS does it too. And
UPS
right now,
does?
They have 25% off shredding.
Oh, okay.
Look for the crumbles.
So that's, I have to just look into it and see what we can
We could
find.
do a big bonfire and sing Kumbaya.
No. That's very toxic.
This is a really interesting conversation.
No, this is the worst shredding competition I've ever done.
I hate to break it up, but can we move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Executive Committee motions. This is item is to approve a letter to the Los Angeles Regional Water Board regarding ongoing environmental remediation at Phillips 66. Christina, Ann, or Ben, want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to talk about it. So on page 11 of your agenda packet, we have a letter that was discussed between Christina and I and brought to the executive committee to be communicated to the public comment period of the Los Angeles Regional Water Boards regarding the ongoing environmental remediation. They're basically entering a phase of increased remediation. So that was the public meeting, the notice of change. And so this letter is essentially informing that we would prefer 90 days to respond, make any responses, be in the loop. And also, based on some conversations with environmental experts in like remediation, requesting ongoing collection and analysis or a data visualization tool by which the ongoing efforts could be displayed to the community, and just expressing an interest for the neighborhood councils to work in collaboration with the water board. If anyone would like me to read the letter in its entirety, I can. And then the final paragraph relates to concerns that we had about upcoming dig and haul procedures. So we're under the impression that a certain amount of that topsoil at the facility is going to be moved somewhere else. And we're concerned about the environmental impacts of the dust and also the impacts of trucking along the corridor surrounding Phillips 66. So just requesting additional scrutiny and just kind of putting our voice out there and saying, hey, we're kind of watching what's going on, and we'd like to be involved in the process going forward. So thank you. Yeah.
Is there any other remediation proposed, or I don't know if it's typical for this type of work, besides the dig and haul? Like, what else might they be doing with it?
Yeah, so since the Cal EPA came onto that site in, I believe, the 80s, there's been ongoing remediation work. However, the extent of that work is limited to basically the places of the facility they can access. Since Phillips 66 is idle and that machinery is going to be slowly taken down over the course of the next couple of years, they're going to be increasing their remediation work. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, well, it does. Actually, but then also, would they be doing anything to the soil other than removing it? Are they going to, I don't know, seal it up or treat it on site or anything like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. The person who we are submitting this public comment to is the Los Angeles Regional Water Board, who is chiefly responsible for the groundwater underneath the facility, and then some level of jurisdictional switching between the city of LA and the topsoil is going to be happening, but it's also going to be regulatorily overseen by the water board to some extent. So just getting that out there as a concern. Yeah, Christina.
And then just to keep in mind that it's a multi-disciplinary issue, so we don't even have the environmental impact yet. So when it comes to the actual digging and the enzymes or whatever that are going to clean, that's something completely separate.
Okay.
And the only reason this is here today is because we had a due date of July 24th.
Yes, Ray.
So take my insulin, sorry.
Two things.
Yep.
I really appreciate the fact that we're asking for 90-day public comment period on this, because historically they give 30 days, and sometimes, if we're lucky, 45 days, but it's strategic in the fact that they give these short periods of times to limit the amount of public comment that they get. So I think asking for 90 days, but being consistent about asking for 90 days on all aspects of public comment, especially going to the neighborhood councils, because we don't do things in 30 days. Mm-hmm. Usually 60 at the very least, but at all times we should be asking for 90-day public comment. So I appreciate that. Second, the contracting agency, Satellis DECA, they're very much making inroads to the community to talk about that construction, or the fact that it's going to be remediated and what they're going to be doing after the fact. So I do believe that it's imperative that we continue to stay on top of this, because what is going to happen on that property is going to be very much dependent on how much input they get. And some of the things that I have seen them do is limit the amount of work that they're looking for. So I've been having conversations with the representatives from the contractors, so I'd like to be able to fold you guys in on that, so that you can be part of that discussion and the ongoing conversation with them, and for you to get to know who those representatives are.
Yeah, I think I can speak for Christina and I. We both are very interested in being aware of that process.
Okay.
Yeah, as well as the Environment and Sustainability Committee, however.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I'll fold you into those conversations. All right. That's all I got. Any other conversation? Any discussion? I see no hands from the audience. So we'll go ahead and take the vote count.
All right, calling for the vote. Tom Norman.
Aye.
John Barbera.
Yes.
Vic Christensen.
Aye.
Ray Regalado.
Yes.
Ben Bruxford, aye. Adrian Fernandez.
Yes.
April Jones.
Yes.
Melanie Lebrecq.
Yes.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Cynthia Gagnier.
Yes.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
May Cordero Herrera.
Yes.
Chris Valle.
Yes.
All right. This passes.
Very good. Okay. I think that takes care of agenda item number 5, the motions. Now we're going to go to agenda item number 6, which is the homelessness liaison report. Lori Jacobs.
Good evening, board. I guess it's just me. I find it freezing in here. I'm looking at you, and I guess you're not cold. Okay. We'll start off with, I have a motion on my report, which I'll go over, but the motion will have to be moved by somebody on the board because I'm not a board member. And this is to file a community impact statement to support Council Member McCoster's file 18-0651-S3. And basically what this motion is to extend the lease at the Bridge Home Shelter over on Beacon. Is it Beacon? Yeah. And the lease expires in December. The lease is with Caltrans. They gave up part of their property during COVID to have this. And they have a contract with Harbor Interfaith. If we lost this shelter, they have 100 beds there, which as of last week were absolutely full. So it's that many people that would be not able to get into shelter. So it's pretty straightforward if anybody has any questions.
I'd like to move the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Adrian moving, seconded by Kelly. Any discussion? Not seeing any hands from around the table. Any discussion from the audience? I see no hands in the audience. Okay, can we take a vote count?
Tom Norman.
Aye.
John Barbera.
Yes.
Vic Christensen.
Aye.
Ray Regalado.
Yes.
Ben Bruxford. Aye. Adrian Fernandez.
Yes.
April Jones.
Yes.
Melanie Lebrecq.
Yes.
Angela Sumner.
Yes.
Cynthia Goniea.
She stepped out.
Oh.
Give her a French accent.
In this case, Mark. Oh, sorry.
She's out of the room.
We'll come back to her.
Kelly Miller.
Yes.
May.
Yes.
And Chris Valle.
Yes.
I think you've forgotten me the last
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry, Christina.
Yes.
And do we mark as absent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess she
Yep.
left. No.
Okay.
Is she gone for the day?
No.
No,
She
okay.
came and then she left.
No, she's still here.
Okay. This motion passes.
Thank you guys very much for the support. I'll continue with my report. Talking about what's going on with LA County is like a moving target as far as funding. I don't know, something going on that I need to know. Okay. So LA County officially has taken over spending from LASA as far as funding. The federal government has put a hold on, they're trying to cut the federal funds for LASA, and the district judge Carter has filed a suit. I'm trying to track this as of right now. I guess they're in injunction to not cut off the funding, and there's some other organizations that are also filing a suit. So, like I said, that is just a fluid situation that's just going to be ongoing. Changes to Medicaid, Medi-Cal program, and the reason this is under my homelessness report is because it will affect a lot of people, could cause an increase in homelessness, lack of health care. So I've tried to put a summary of this, but basically, effective, I believe, January 1, 2027, okay, there's this new HR1 out of the federal government that the Republicans passed that's absolutely going to worsen conditions for Californians experiencing homelessness by cutting and restricting key safety net programs. I've highlighted some of the main things that's covered: loss of coverage, SNAP, CalFresh cuts, a strain on the county, and broader safety nets. This is a problem, and we need to continue to try and work with the state and see what we can do to have state intervention for some of these things. Well, one big change is that it used to be you had to renew once a year for your Medi-Cal benefits. Now they're needed every 6 months. The federal government's doing everything they can to make it as hard as possible for people to continue on Medi-Cal benefits. That's the bottom line. They've added a requirement that somebody receiving these benefits has to work in some manner 80 hours a month to continue to receive these benefits. That could be a hardship for quite a few people. The last page in my report, the one good news is, as I learned, is there are some exemptions from this work. So if somebody is enrolled in a rehab program, if they're over 65, there are some workarounds if they're pregnant. Let's see, I'm trying to see. So basically, we need to keep an eye on this. If you or you know somebody who's on Medi-Cal, you really need to know that you have to renew it every 6 months, because you might not get a notice and you'll just lose coverage. Maybe you've already heard of somebody, because they implemented that last April. So it just adds more to the devastating changes that the federal government and they're going after California and Los Angeles big time for obvious reasons. So take a look at that. I'm not going to read all these details. I just wanted you to have this information. But I wanted to share something else. So I've had 2 meetings now with my Commission on Alcohol and Other Drugs. And every time they do talk about it, they also include mental health, and pretty much homelessness comes into the conversation too. They're all overlapping with each other. And my presentation this last week that I was given was on street medicine, street outreach. And that's the people who are in the encampments, going to them and giving them medical care. You know, a key component of that is to try to stop the spread of any communicable diseases with needle exchange programs, health care, things like that. And sometimes people that are experiencing homelessness are a little more open to the outreach that's given to them when it's medical care, as opposed to just saying, hey, don't you want to get off the street and get housed? It's all about building a relationship out there. And I will share with you that last Friday night, for the first time, I went out with one of these street outreaches. I'm still processing what I saw. And where I went was the unincorporated area of Rancho Dominguez. And Ray, I got an update on this. There were 107 dilapidated RVs on that street, both sides of the street. And we went out in groups. They have a doctor there. It's all pro bono, all volunteer. They had medical care, hygiene, some food, clothing, things like that. And none of these RVs ran. I mean, when I say dilapidated, this is absolutely disgusting. A lot of animals out there, a lot of dogs and cats. And they seemed open and appreciative of getting the medical care. But these are, and I've reported before, these people don't own these RVs. I found out of the 107, 4 of them are owned by the people living in them. They have what they call van lords, who buy these at auction and tow them there, charge them rent. And then these people also have gangs there that charge them protection money to live in an RV that has no running water, bathroom, heat, air conditioning, anything like that. And there's people with kids out there. This is just deplorable that this is happening, and I know it's a lot worse in other parts of LA. And Rancho Dominguez is not that far away from us. It's not like we're talking about, 50 miles away from here. This can happen anywhere. Why am I telling you this? I don't know. You try to deal with the topics of homelessness and some of these things, and it's kind of like you want to divorce yourself of it. You don't want to think about it in the daily basis. But we're going to go home, most of us, I think, to a nice warm bed and clothes and food, and it just feels like so much like we're heading backwards. But let's continue to look at what we can do in Northwest to help anybody. This Saturday, there's a Connect Day in Hawthorne that's just focusing on families and transitional age youth. We had one the previous month in the Harbor Gateway, and these are Connect Days where they bring resources out to help people. looking at food distribution programs like that. And then lastly, I'm going to say to you guys, what do you want from me in the future as a homelessness liaison? Because I come in here with doom and gloom. I just try to tell you like it is, legislation, do you want to look at that? Think about this in your committees, in the safety committee, in the outreach committee, sustainability, environmental. What topics could you guys look at in those committees? And how can we try to help people right here in Northwest San Pedro or all of San Pedro? What can we do to try to help people have, not be living in fear that they're going to be thrown out on the street? And seniors is another one. Maybe one of the committees wants to take a look at the discrimination and the difficulties for seniors, all of those. So anyway, it's my end of my happy report. So, yes.
What I want to do is encourage you to get with me and maybe as a board initiative, what we had talked about, since we have this rollover money, that we take a little bit of it and make some hygiene kits and have them, distribute them from the neighborhood council, maybe even do what we talked about, do some sort of resource event type thing and have them there, as well as our neighborhood council initiate like a clothing drive thing or something too along with it.
Perfect, Melanie. Melanie and I did talk, and I talked to President Ray also about creating something that is a resource fair, and each one of your committees could focus on something, but we could get vendors. Okay, this isn't necessarily things that we have to do. We need to coordinate getting vendors who have the resources, get free legal aid if you're close to getting evicted, housing rights, things like that. Have a whole day of this and have, maybe something like a Toberman that has food distribution programs and Meals on Wheels to talk about their programs for people who are homebound and are hungry. Then if we put this together and had one big event, it doesn't really have to cost us that much. We could do this in a way where if we get the right vendors there and have some fun, maybe we can get some music there too and have it be a fun event. And this should be cover all of our area, maybe not even just San Pedro, the harbor area. I'm down with that, Melanie.
Right, and it's an opportunity for all the committees to have a booth there too, and do some sort of outreach for their committees as far as what they do, for public safety, for sustainability, to be able to do some sort of presentation type thing at their table regarding sustainability stuff or public safety presentation for public safety type things, evacuate, earthquake preparedness and things like that.
Well, sustainability. You could be talking about trees and shade trees and cooling centers and, things like that and low economic ways they could cool their homes, without an expensive air conditioner. So, yeah, every committee, I think, planning and land use could find some aspect, and maybe the committee chairs can get together and maybe coordinate. I'm asking you to think a little bit out of the box and maybe something else.
Because one thing that I thought about too, we talk about people in their houses for like emergency prep and all that, but I've never seen anything be put together for a homeless person, what they do for emergency prep. What they can do to be prepared, where they go, what they do. It's always, so that's kind of going through my mind right now, is trying to maybe initiate putting together something of that nature too to have.
Well, let's talk about that. And again, I'm going to remind people, I like to call them people experiencing homelessness, not homeless people, because this is a temporary situation. Homeless person is not who they are. I really think that words, I'm not picking on humility, I'm just reminding everybody that hopefully it's a temporary situation. And if somebody is experiencing homelessness, they do have resources with some of the outreach teams if they choose to take them. And we have to always be safe too. I remind everybody, don't go out there and reach out to somebody who's laying on a bus bench or in the park. Okay, call it in, 877-ASK-LAPD. LA Hawk, get a professional out there. Don't ever put yourself in danger.
So I'm going to take, and I think you want to ask your question, and I'll ask mine last.
Yeah. Chris has his hand up too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
For the public, sorry. And just to know, John's not well, so he's in the van right now.
Okay.
Sitting here.
Okay.
Beautiful discussion, and thank you for just broadening and being outside the box. It's important if we have events that raise money for food, so that they don't have to spend so much on food and they can pay rent. But the biggest problem with homelessness, you probably or people experience that, is rents are too damn high, as they say. So, let's think really outside the box, and let's go to the landlords and say, really, do you need to charge this much? Who among you, raise your hand, would like to lower your rent so that people aren't going homeless? I mean, rent isn't gravity. It isn't just it. People are gouging. So just an idea to go to landlords, landowners, and wag a finger.
And thank you, Rachel. That's actually would go to the planning and land use. And I will actually speak up for landlords because I get mine raised a mandatory 5% each year, and I've questioned it. The cost that the landlords have are actually increased or greater than the 5% that they're passing on to me. There are some bad landlords out there, but there's a lot of mom and pop landlords that are barely surviving. So we have to have a discussion. What makes sense? Can I help around the building to keep my rent down? Think outside the box.
Chris?
Thanks. What Rachel said and what you'd said earlier, I think that thinking in terms of focusing on the demographics of Northwest, we have a lot of renters. There's a lot of apartments. And I think for us, since fortunately we don't have huge encampments, but we do have huge numbers of renters who I'm sure are under any number of financial pressures and spend a lot of their time worried about keeping the lights on and that roof over their heads. I think that any programs that focus on prevention would be best suited for or would be something that would be particularly useful in Northwest. And so events or services, basically a way for us to route those conversations from, government side agencies to our neighborhoods and our neighbors would be useful, because there's people who again, not homeless now, may not become homeless, but they're worried about it. And if there's something that they know, oh, these are my legal rights, or this is, whatever, that they can use to prepare themselves and hopefully, keep the wolf away from the door. But I think there would be a lot of people who would be very quietly appreciative of that kind of information.
And you can have SoCal Gas and DWP talk about what people can do to reduce their utility costs.
That's a good one.
I mean, all of us had a parent said, shut the lights off and you want to pay the electric bill. I mean, we've all had that. But there are a lot of things you can do in your home. And SoCal Gas sends me monthly. They look at my bill and I get these things. Or actually, SoCal Edison at my other place tells me you could do this, this, and this and reduce your utility costs. It's as simple as that. Every penny matters.
And there's a lot of rebates offered as well.
Yes, definitely.
So I'll ask my question, then we'll go to you.
Well, I wanted to mention that is a good point about the landlords, because a lot of the landlords are small business owners, mine included, and my rent's been getting raised every year. One thing that I've been doing, and I don't have a lot of money, is every time a homeless person asks for money, I go, I don't have any cash, but I can buy you a sandwich or something. And I've helped a lot of people out, and it hasn't broke my bank. But I have reached out a few months ago when I lost my job after a year unexpectedly and had no savings. I reached out to all the companies and was able to get some sort of discounts, or even my internet. I was like, I need to cancel my internet. They're like, we'll just give you a month for free. So it really helps if you're going through financial hardship. A lot like SoCal Gas, I think, had given me a discount for that month, stuff like that. So
imagine having an event where we had all these tips for people. The hardest part is going to get people to come attend the event. That is going to be, you can make it as appealing as you want.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to do that.
Ray, what's your question?
Thank you for asking. I'm going to go kind of similar, but in a different direction. One of the things that really tears my heart out, in addition to seeing many people who are experiencing homelessness, is the fact that they have their own support system, and usually that support system includes a pet, a dog. and maybe even a cat and stuff like that. And understanding, my wife, in her capacity as in the fire commission, she, I think there's a doctor who's on that commission also who goes out to the various encampments and things like that, and that's where he does his work in these encampments. But with the fact that we have dogs who supply a certain level of support to the people who are there who are experiencing, this. My thing is, who's supporting the pets? Because I see them there, and they're experiencing the same hardships as the individual. So I'm wondering, as you might have heard, doctors going out and doing this, and are there vets that go out and kind of look at some of the pets and things like that?
I can answer
great,
that.
because this thing has been bothering me recently.
So I'm actually working an event the end of July, and it'll be held by somewhere in the Skid Row area, and it is actually free spay-neuter vaccine, flea tick for people experiencing homelessness to bring their pets specifically. But because they're experiencing homelessness, how do they get to downtown LA? So I can inquire to see if we have numbers large enough in the Harbor, San Pedro area to have an event like that down here.
That would be so
The thing that we're
so great.
talking about, that can be added to it, maybe.
And the street medicine group provided, they had dog food, cat food, and honestly, the people out there take better care of their animals than they do of themselves. But there was one lady had 11 dogs in her RV with no air conditioning.
Okay, any other questions before we close on? Anyone from the audience with a question?
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Wait. Do you have a question? Could you come up to the microphone first, please? That way we can record it and have it for posterity. And if you can identify who you are.
Hi, I'm Tiana. I've experienced homelessness, and I think the event that you're talking about and giving hygiene kits is a great idea. I also think giving them resources to like the free clinic in San Pedro, and just a lot of people don't know where they can turn for help. So I think even just like a little printout, just where they can go and where they can, I think that would be perfect.
And let me add, I would like you to consider for your next fiscal budget doing one newsletter. Before you go ballistic, I'm not asking you to mail the newsletter. I'm asking you to let me work with outreach and put together a newsletter, and we can distribute them in another way, because postage is the expensive part. But think about the best newsletter I ever did with this council was during COVID, and the entire newsletter was resources, and not just website. It had phone numbers for people who aren't online. I would love to do something like that again, so we could hand it out at all kinds of places, put it at restaurants, Chamber of Commerce. I don't know what the budget would be, but you wouldn't have to pay the postage. We would hand them out.
It's $900 to get them printed. All the ones that we got printed before.
Okay.
It's $900. We could do that.
And Doug gives his services for free to
And
assemble it?
Would we need that many?
What?
We wouldn't need that many, because remember it was like 11,000 or something like
It
that.
depends on how much you want to distribute and how, and the plan you have for distribution. But I'm just saying, think about that. That was the best newsletter.
Right.
I felt so good about that one, and people responded to it. So maybe we can go door to door and take them. I don't know. So
Lori,
anyway.
I'm just wondering if even half.
We actually talked. Chris has been talking with Josh. San Pedro today, and we could actually, for a whole lot less,
You're not going to have 4 pages of resources in a little quarter page of San Pedro Today. That's one thing you can direct them to our neighborhood council, but I'm talking about solid information with everything every one of you have mentioned, from food to pets to housing to eviction rights.
Yeah, you don't think
You can't do that in San Pedro Today. It would take the whole magazine. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying I think a better use of your funds
I think it's a conversation we should probably have in committee.
Yeah, sorry.
Chris, we could just.
Okay. Lori, thank you very much for the report.
Quick question.
I've said this before. Lori puts a lot of time and effort in this report and the stuff that she does on this. So I really want to express our thanks for the work that you do. Thank you. What's that? I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear.
Just for clarity, which committee is going to take responsibility so that we can carry it forward?
Well, actually, that was going to be kind of the question I was going to ask. I'd like to ask for a volunteer committee to go ahead and start looking at this and work with Lori and so on.
It's already started.
Okay. So I'm hearing public safety. Any other?
Youth and outreach, too.
Youth and outreach?
We were going to partner.
Do we want to have an ad hoc on a specific project?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Okay.
Outreach committee. Yeah.
I really, really, I hate using this word, but I really hate it when people read my mind. So, I agree. An ad hoc meeting, an ad hoc committee would probably be the best way to do it. So right now, I'm hearing youth and outreach and public safety.
And sustainability.
And sustainability?
Yep.
Yep.
Planning and land? Well,
Nah, they've got a lot on their plate.
well, I mean, they do, but we can offer it up to planning and land use. Okay, so
Even issues.
well, it sounds like all our committees. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have to just say that when we have our retreat, that will be one of the items we solidify as to how this thing comes together. Okay? So please, somebody remind me to remember. So
for our retreat, can that be homework that we all come with 2 or 3 ideas so that we can start it?
well, we have an agenda item for the retreat, so we can talk about that when we get up to it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to close out agenda item number 6. Let's go to number 7. Our elected governmental and public safety representatives. And I see our most respected and appreciated representative from CD15. No, from
the 1-5. Hey everyone, how you doing? So nice to see you. I don't have a lot today. It's been kind of a little bit slow in terms of upcoming events, but we've had a lot of past events. But not really here in Northwest. We are in the midst of Music by the Sea, which is happening every Sunday from 10 to 6 at Point Fermin Park. So go check that out. We just had Shakespeare by the Sea this last weekend at Point Fermin Park, which is also great. They came back after a 2-year hiatus. We've also had slurry sealing throughout San Pedro. I don't know if you've seen it, but we've had a lot of streets slurried. Now, slurrying is not resurfacing. Slurrying is essentially nail polish that you put on a street in order to protect it and preserve it. It's a black top and eventually fades over the time, but it does extend the life of the street. Sometimes people will be like, well, they slurried a whole street, then they left a section, and they're not doing the section. How come I not do? So it's all about the condition of the street. If there are sections of the street that are in poor condition, they won't slurry it. They'll put it on a list for future resurfacing. So there's that. 311. Who here has the MyLA 311 app on their phone? Okay, if your hand was not yet raised, download it. And then next month, I want everybody to be able to raise their hands because that's how we report all sorts of things throughout the city, including illegal dumping, items on the side of the road, overflowing trash cans, dead animal pickup. Like if you see a raccoon in the middle of the road that's been run over, you can report that. Even homeless encampments, actually, you can report them too. They get sent to our office, and we go and we send engagement and resources and then do our best to schedule LA Sanitation to come and clean up if it's required or if they need further assistance. So everything that you can think of that you need from the city, you can start with 311 and then obviously call our office. So friendly reminder, 311, submit them. I also wanted to touch a little bit about the idea of like the hygiene kits and the clothing. So the Circle response team, which goes out when you call the non-emergency line or which goes out to an unhoused person, when we reach out to them, they always offer services, they offer water, they offer a variety of things, and they always have clothing with them. And they've always said that they are in need of these types of items to distribute when they go out on their calls. So I recommend if you wanted to distribute these some way, the Circle team would be the best way to get these things out into the community, because the people who are taking them are people who want them, are people who are saying, yes, I want it, I need it, versus just handing to someone that may or may not use it or may end up just like throwing it out when it could go towards good use for somebody that needs those things. So I would recommend, if you're interested in doing something like that and connecting with Starkville, I'll be happy to make the connection. Or you can drop things off at their drop-in center, which is located on Harbor Boulevard in the same center as, I think where the Marines are. It's like blue, and I think it's about Sepulveda, but I can get you the exact address. Also, we have a new and used toy drive happening now, sponsored by LA Sanitation. It's happening between now and September 4th. And if you have new or gently used toys that you would like to drop off, you can do so in the lobby of our San Pedro City Hall building. There is a big brown bin that looks like a trash bin, but it's not, for donations, and you can put it in there, and it's next to the elevators in our city hall. So once again, they're looking for educational toys and games, toys for children with special needs or disabilities, video games and video consoles, dolls, no used stuffed toys or animals, and other toys in good conditions, and donations can be dropped off Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So leave that here. And last but not least, I did send this out to the board ahead of time, but I do have a whole list of motions that we've passed in the last couple of weeks. We are currently on recess, but I'll just go through these super quick. Council File 26-1100-S13 is actually a motion that was brought by Councilmember McOsker that will be headed to the ballot in November. And that is an amendment to the charter that will allow City Council to move towards the same kind of system that the supervisors have, and that they have one full day where they have a meeting that takes up the whole day, and then they have public comment in the evenings, which would allow more people to come and share their public comment. And instead of having 3 weekly meetings, it would be one long renegade meeting. And that would allow for the council people, according to Councilmember McOsker, to be in community and start addressing the issues on a greater level that need attention within the district. Right now, he's in the district on Mondays and Thursdays and is in City Hall on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays in accordance with City Council and other committee meetings. But this would allow him to come and be in more areas, not just in San Pedro, but in Watts, Harbor City, Harbor Gateway, not just for special events, but really throughout the year and throughout the week. So that is this, and you'll see some sort of verbiage of this on the ballot in November. Council File 26-0914 in regards to the chassis project over here, Jonas Gibson. I will read this because I don't want to, I just want you to hear directly what the motion says. On June 11, 2026, the Board of Harbor Commissioners approved actions relating to the Jonas Gibson and Chassis Parking Lot Project, including certification of the proposed Port Master Plan Amendment number 30 to change the land use designation for 16.2 acres of the hillside property north of Jonas Gibson Boulevard from open space to maritime support. The proposed amendment is associated with the development of a truck and chassis parking facility on port-adjacent hilltop and hillside property. Given the potential implications of the project for surrounding communities, traffic circulation, air quality, and overall port operations, additional review by the City Council is warranted to ensure that all relevant policy and environmental justice issues have been fully considered. Action is needed to assert jurisdiction over this matter so that the Council can veto the effective action of the Board of Harbor Commissioners and send it back to the Board for further review. review. I therefore move that pursuant to the City Charter Section 245, the City Council assert jurisdiction over the Board of Harbor Commissioners June 11, 2026 action, certifying the Port Master Plan Amendment Number 30 related to the John S. Gibson truck and chassis parking lot. And I further move that assertion of jurisdiction, the Council veto the action of the Board of Harbor Commissioners and remand the matter back to the Board. Motion presented by Councilman McOsker, second by Bob Blumenfield, and passed on June 23rd, 2026, referred to the Trade, Travel, and Tourism Committee. So that says currently. Motion, you already voted on this, but this is just the motion to essentially renew the lease for the bridge home in the Beacon lot. The Wilmington ABH is being decommissioned, so we have seen an influx in some of their folks coming to San Pedro. And so there will not be an ABH in Wilmington. The only one left will be in San Pedro, and that'll be there for the next 3 years when it comes up for renewal again. And last but not least, Council Motion 26-0953-3171. I'll read this too. It's actually really interesting. On February 10th, 2026, Council instructed the General Services Department with the assistance of the City Attorney and the City Administrative Officer to negotiate a no-cost lease with the United States Navy for the property located at 3171 Gaffey Street for a term of 3 years. This is the ball fields. This is where the girls softball play. During the 3-year term, there will be a potential sale of the federal property to the city. However, in order to initiate the proposed lease, environmental assessments of the property are needed. I therefore move that Council instruct the Bureau of Engineering with the assistance of the General Services Department and the Recreation and Parks Department to conduct the necessary environmental assessments of the property at this location and a portion of APN, and then it gives it, to allow the city to obtain site control of the shooting range facility and manage the nonprofit organizations using the ball fields. I further move that the Council instruct the CAO, the City Administrations Officer, with the assistance of the Bureau of Engineering and the General Services Department to identify funding necessary for the environmental review detailed above, moved on June 26, 2026, and referred to Government Operations Committee. That's it for me. Anybody have any questions? And who do you want me to give all these to? I can hand these to somebody.
What's that?
I can hand these to somebody if you want the paperwork.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll bring them after questions.
Melanie?
Yeah, more of a comment and concern. Have you drove by Capitol Drive lately in front of Target?
Not today. I was there last night. Are you talking about like the trash that's in the gutters?
There's tons of trash in the gutters. I talked to Target. We've had a meeting with Target. A group of us did from the Neighborhood Council and Neighborhood Watch. One of the understandings after talking again, Gwen and I the other day to Target again about all the trash that's out there and everything, and there's been a problem with nitrous oxide huffing going on behind the wall on a regular basis right now, and so there's nitrous oxide canisters like laying in the gutter, empty ones. I've got pictures. They're all laying in there, but the thing is, not only the trash, but the stuff, the slime and the moss and the algae and the grossness of that whole area from the start of Gaffey, there's problems. It's a mess. There's larvae. The vector guy was out last week. He wasn't spraying. I go, why aren't you spraying? He goes, I don't see any mosquito larvae. I go, I don't care. You're supposed to be spraying every month, period. Proactive. He's like, no. There is, you've got the West Nile in Long Beach. There was a big article in LA Times about West Nile. This is turning into a health problem for the neighborhood. Mosquitoes were flying and biting all over the AT&T guys standing on my sidewalk the other early evening. This is unacceptable. Somebody needs to do something about this and take care of it. I don't care if it's Target. I don't care if it's CD15.
Okay.
Somebody needs to do something. It's gone on 8 years and it's getting worse.
Okay. I'm not going to say anything because I feel like it doesn't matter what I say. At the moment, I understand that you're upset, And I don't think that anything that I can say can make you feel better. So I will let this calm down, and I will get back to you with the proactive actions that we're taking probably in the next week or so. I do have an update on that, but like I said, I think it'd be...
No, it's fine. It's just that it's gone on long enough.
Yeah. So,
and Target's saying it's not their responsibility because their responsibility stops at the BART dust.
So that's not true, and we've spoken with them, and they've committed to cleaning up the trash. I've been actually compiling photographs and sending it to the person that's helping them with their ABC permit for the tasting center to let them know that this is all tied together and that they need to be better neighbors and they need to be cleaning up the trash in the gutters. I also have been working with somebody else in Target on repairing the sidewalk and doing the drains, and I shared the geotechnical study that explains what the problem is so that they're working with their engineers to come up with a solution. I followed up with her again today, but we've been in touch every 2 weeks and she's been giving me an update of where
Yeah, Christina conveyed that to that she had talked to you when we met with her about the geological study and all that and things. And we understand the sidewalk thing, but there seems to be some disconnect on the cleanup because, like I said, Gwen and I talked to them just the other day about the mess out in front, and they told us that their obligation stops at the BART dust for cleanup, on the berm.
I'll follow up with them. I'll let them know that. I mean, listen, when you look at the parkway spaces and the responsibilities end at the curb. So, like, according to municipal code. So we want them to be good neighbors and clean it up, and that stuff actually blows by. When they say that their responsibility ends at essentially the sidewalk, they're not wrong, but we want them to take care of the stuff that's inside the curb as well.
Right. Because we explained to them that it looks horrible for Target.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. And so we are working with them on that. Thank you. I'll follow up again. In terms of Vector is sent by the County of Los Angeles. It's a county health department issue. I'm happy to connect you with Supervisor Janice Hahn's office if you want them to intercede on your behalf and work with Vector to make sure that they're spraying. I can't speak for them because they're not a city department. It's a county department. In terms of the water that's there, that is I don't know if you guys know what a water table is. A water table is essentially where the groundwater meets the surface of the street, and in this situation, the water table there is so shallow that it's at ground level; it's not below the surface, and so where it's at the street level is where the street is. There's no more ground above it, so it's essentially groundwater that's flowing from higher places and ends up there. And what needs to happen is essentially the whole street needs to be dug up. There needs to be a subterranean trench that's built, and then that funnels it to the storm drain that's at the end of Capitol and Gaffey, because there is a storm drain there. On the corner, it is the northwest corner. There's a storm drain. Do we have the resources right now to do that multi-million-dollar project? No, which is why we're working with Target in hopes that they, who do have the resources, will be able to not only, when they repair the sidewalk, but also they know they have to dig out the drains because the tree roots have filled in the drains because they're constantly being fed by water that's coming up from under the ground. So you have you're at war with Mother Nature is what's happening here. We are living on a planet that we have constructed everything that we're living in right now, including those streets. So we're fighting with something that you have to recognize is more powerful than we are. Water is more powerful than we are. Do we have the resources? Not yet, but it's something that we're trying to work on to find a solution for. But in the interim, we continue patching, we continue doing what we can, but it is rough because that's just the geology of the space.
Right.
So the solution is a big one. What we're working on is we're working with Target to implement a solution. We've provided them with the documentation so that they can come up with something and pull the permits and hopefully take responsibility for the issue since they're the abutting property owner. And we'll work with them on the trash also. Thank you for telling me that they told you.
I'm just concerned that it's turning into a West Nile breeding ground.
I mean,
and if people start getting sick in the neighborhood from West Nile, then it's going to turn into a really big fiasco.
And I recommend that you work well. Do you have contact? Do you know either Kelly Cross or Jennifer?
I know Kelly Cross.
Yeah, so work with Kelly. She'll help you with Vector. We have a health department that looks after these things, that's responsible for them. We have a habit in the city of bringing our county concerns to city departments when we have to hold those city departments accountable as well. We have a health department. Use it. Work them, make them answer these questions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I can, and Christina, I saw your hand up, and Chris, but You know, we have had a meeting with Target, and they seem very open to be a partner, neighbor in our community.
They have been in our meetings as well. Yeah.
However, it looks like they do make that push. Okay, we'll do this, but we're not going to do that. And they seem to want to come to us only when they want our support, and in this case, the support to expand their liquor license. I know we don't have the authority to address that. I believe it's the state of California who does that, right? But if we can, advocate on behalf of the community, in partnership with the council member
So
Tim.
one thing that we are doing as a part of application of their CUB is to include maintenance as a part of that condition. So we're conditioning the cleanups as a part of them getting their permit.
Well, I appreciate that, and if we can also be part of that conversation with Target, I think it'd be appreciated also, so that we can know the wishes of the councilman, and then we can also help advocate.
I mean, really, what I do is I take your positions and I elevate them in our meetings.
I'm sorry?
What I hear in this room is what I take and I elevate them in our meetings.
Yeah.
So we are representing you already. Because everything you say to me here, I write down and I take it back.
Right.
And everything that you say to me here, I elevate in our meetings with Target.
So we can have more.
So I don't have any meetings on the books. If there's another meeting that comes up, what I recommend doing is, do you know Axel? Do you know Axel?
Yeah.
Yes. Axel is handling this from our office. And Axel is really the lead on it. I will inform him that you want to be involved in future discussions. He and Pamela are taking care of the permitting, taking care of the CUB, managing that process. I'm handling the sidewalk and that repair and the trash collection. So that's kind of how we're dividing the responsibilities within our office. But I'm happy to make that connection between you, Pamela, and Axel, so that you can talk to him about being included in those types of conversations. In terms of what I am doing going forward, it's really just it's expressing what I hear here in these meetings and then handling the sidewalk repair and whatnot.
Okay. Christina?
And then just to let you know, we do, as neighborhood council, we have a follow-up meeting with Target this Thursday at 5 p.m. over at Target.
Okay.
So
Do you want to come?
I'd love to invite you.
I'll see if I can.
It's a Target over in their back room.
Okay. See, I mean, the thing is, I will say, I'll push back a little bit. Like you say about how you want to be included in these meetings, I'm never notified when you have a meeting with them. I had no idea that you met with them. Now I'm learning that you're meeting with them on Thursday. It would be helpful for us to know also when you're meeting with them so that we can, too, follow up and show that there's some sort of coordination in our office. Because if they're saying one thing to you and saying something else to us, and we're not talking, then they're getting away with whatever they're saying to you and to us.
Yeah.
Because there's no coordination.
Yeah, and I think this is just, now that we're talking about it, we understand that we all need to be at the same meeting rather than all these separate meetings, because we didn't know about your meetings either.
Right. I mean, for us, we haven't had an actual meeting with them, I want to say, in several months. It was the initial discussion over at the CUB, and that's when we expressed the concerns of the community around the cleanliness and whatnot. I've had another couple phone calls about the sidewalk repair because I've been pushing that along. As well as providing the geological study, which you said that Christina had told you about. Christina Gilman, that's the person I've been in touch with and working with. I think we need to have that openness, but also you have to recognize, by pulling us into your meetings, it gives it more power to Target because they don't need anything from you. You're advisory. They need something from us.
Right.
So if we are there and we hear what they're telling you, then we can hold them accountable to that. Because then it's not, neighborhood council told me. It's like, I was in this meeting where you told them X, Y, and Z. How come you're not doing it? And so I want to provide that cover for you. And I know that you're here and you're doing great work and that you provide all of these community impact statements and advisory and meeting and whatnot. But they know, ultimately, that you don't have the power to stop them from doing anything. Really.
Right.
The power that you have with our office is that we listen to you. We're here every month. We take your concerns and we elevate them, and that's what we're worried about. Why do you think we're 245ing what's going on with John S. Gibson? Because Wilmington Neighborhood Council is like, no, the community in Wilmington does not want this. Even though they've had people going around and convincing other neighborhood councils that are living tens of miles away to support it, the people that are most impacted said, no, put a stop to this. We need to look into this further, and the councilman listened. So we're here to support you. I'm here every month to hear what you have to say. I think it's important that we're talking about this Target issue, and it's important that we work together on the Target issue going forward.
Drew, I want to take issue with your comment about they really don't care about neighborhood councils because of what we don't have. I would like to make sure that there is something we do have, and what we have are the people around this table that do have a voice, and we have the voice by having conversation and organizing around that. I mean, I spent my career with the County of Los Angeles organizing community because the community has a loud voice that they could say, and I really want to make sure that we need to be able to work together. So, we need to hear what's going on.
Right. What concerns me, and the reason I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on what I said, what concerns me is that they have made commitments to you that they are not upholding. They've made commitments to you that they're not upholding, and also things that they've committed to you we don't know about. Like, I'm hearing about them from you now.
But on the other hand, we don't know what you're talking to them about. So if you're going to expect us to talk to you, you need to talk to us too.
Right. So what we talk to them about is what
two-way street.
What we talk to them about, or what, like I said, I've had a meeting about the sidewalks, and these are the things that you've raised about the streets. Like, all of our concerns that we've brought up to them have come directly from my meetings here with you about this. We have not raised anything independently because it comes from you. It comes from the neighborhood council. And your priorities are the things that we're elevating. You've met with Target more than we have. You've met with Target. We've met with them once. You've met with them, it sounds like, multiple times.
So I just want to make sure that we frame it correctly.
Right.
We do have something to offer, and we do have the power of community to get to be part of these conversations. So I'm hoping moving forward, we have that ability to start looking at things that we can do in partnership. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, what we have in front of us is the Vincent Thomas Bridge closure.
Mm-hmm.
What we have is the Gibson project, the chassis project, and we have Phillips 66.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the last person to hear that there's something going on at the city council level or the state level or the county level when we can be part of that partnership, because they have talked to us. Phillips 66 talks to us. But I think we'd have more push knowing that we're doing it in partnership. So
that's why I'm saying
I think it's the framing.
Yeah. So I think, like, for me, what I'm thinking is
excuse me, Drew.
Yeah.
I think it's the way we are framing it here today that gives me concern. I'm hoping that that's not the way Councilman McCosker feels, that we're not doing our job.
No,
we're
not
working
at all.
very hard at this, and we want to make sure that this stuff is carried through. So I'm hoping we have more conversation with the council.
Yeah, I think what I'm responding to is hearing that you're having these conversations with Target and they're committing to do X, Y, and Z, and then they're not following through. Yet when they're having conversations with us, they are following through with, like, the sidewalk repair, this and that. And to me, what it shows me, at least in my analytical brain, is that when they look at these meetings with the community members, they don't see that they are beholden to it because they don't see the teeth behind it. Whereas to us, they see that we have teeth and we can stop them or prevent them from getting what they want. So that's what I say when I mean that when they're meeting with you, they're not taking you seriously. It's because my concern is that I don't know that they are looking at you as a group that has the power to prevent them from getting what they want, which is why I'm saying if we work together and, like, I join this meeting, my hope is that we can let Target know this is a very serious group that is important and what they say has weight, and that we are standing behind the neighborhood council. So that is, hopefully that explains a little bit better. Maybe I wasn't able to articulate it, but my concern is that they're having meetings with you that are going nowhere. And I think it's because, maybe I'm wrong, it sounds to me maybe because they know that these meetings, they're taking them just to be nice, but I don't see any action coming out of Target as a result of these meetings.
Which reinforces the fact that we have to work more together.
Yeah.
And I think that is the thing that we have to be able to do looking forward.
Yeah, I think that's what we're saying.
So we do have projects that we should start having conversations with the councilman.
Yeah.
And in this case, also with the county, to make sure that we get some of these things that are extremely important to
And
us.
I think it opens up a bigger conversation, which is I do my work. I'm doing my job. I work with my senior lead officers. I coordinate with them. I take constituent concerns. I have bigger infrastructure cases, and I come here once a month and I prepare my reports and I give them. Sometimes I get questions. I go back. I find the answers. I email you the answers, and that's it until the next month. There's no I feel like there's no expectation or continued conversation between any of the neighborhood councils and me throughout the month on some of these things. And I provide these motions, whenever I get the emails from Anissa, I say, these are the motions that we passed and here they are. So you have a greater idea of what they are before our meetings. And all the ones that I read today have been forwarded to you in the last week. So I do my best to let you know. But if there are things that you want to know about, I recommend reach out to me. Let's schedule some time. Let's even make a standing monthly meeting outside of the neighborhood council, maybe even 3 weeks before the neighborhood council. So a week after this meeting, we're getting together and we're talking about what are the projects that are affecting Northwest and where are we with them and where are you with them. And I think that would be very helpful. I don't know who you would want to be that liaison and to
I will be that liaison. Because I have found it very frustrating not having more conversation with our city leadership.
So you know my number, you have my number, you have my email address, use it. Call me. I never not respond to a phone call. I don't ever not call somebody back. I'm responding to every single email.
So, Chris,
yes.
And then Tom.
Christina has something too.
Unrelated to Target, but very much related to infrastructure and coordination. I would like to express my personal appreciation of the council member for having overseen and helped move forward the, rehabilitation, resurfacing of John S. Gibson, Alameda, Harry Bridges. And what I would like to ask for is going forward, because I personally, I'm sure other people do, have some degree of anxiety of what happens after 1st of November, that there be some sort of regular, and again, in terms of the technology and the workload, I don't know how it would necessarily look, but if there would be some way for members of the public to quickly refer to be able to see sort of the status. So in the lead up to the completion of these repairs and improvements, that there be sort of, maybe social media posts is the simplest way, but when they reach milestones, even if it's something that seems a little too much inside baseball, but for instance, if we've resurfaced a lane, letting people know that, because for me that means, if I need to get to Long Beach, that's a good way to go as opposed to other places. So I don't know if it's maybe a weekly thing or an incidental thing as things happen. But then going forward, especially once the bridge closes, if we could have some sort of some resource, somebody's website or some access to that information, so that updates get fed to mapping platforms like Waze and Google Maps, but also a person could go on their phone and look up a page on their website and it says this is current status of whatever, John S. Gibson or Alameda.
So you're not talking about the bridge, you're talking about city streets?
Well, the bridge is going to be what the kind of the linchpin is, but the streets that will become the alternate routes once the bridge closes. I think personally so far the status of the bridge has been pretty accessible, and I've found out what I've needed to know before I got to that cutoff point. But what I'm wondering is that as the repairs and the improvements on the roads, the surface streets continue, that as we reach milestones, that those get pushed out, and that once those become the way to get from west to east or vice versa, that status be kind of actively pushed out, so that if there's an accident or again, and I understand if there's a fender bender and the intersection's blocked, it's not going to be easy to let everybody know about that other than the traditional ways. But since that has the potential of kind of crippling the region, that it'd be given a little bit more priority, knowing that that's going to be the only way for us to get across.
Got it. So all these large asphalt repairs that you're saying will be completed before November 1st.
Okay.
That's the goal. And then after the bridge is completed and reopened, then all of these quarters will be resurfaced. So right now they're doing large asphalt repairs. Afterwards, they're going to completely resurface the streets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Thomas Norman, and did someone have a hand up here? Okay. Tom?
Yeah, thank you for coming, Drew. And I can relate to your hypotheses about Target. I've felt that way in some other projects too when I've gone to meetings and have felt that the neighborhood councils not heard. Feel less when I attend joint neighborhood council meetings for planning and land use. I think there's more numbers. And one thing that group's been doing is we have Axel, coming regularly, and I think that does happen when there's somebody from the council member's office. So I think what you're recommending is a great practice. For some of them, I would like you to meet with our president more regularly, but also I'd like you to consider, like the issues committee, a way that you might be able to be more involved and to see if it works out to attend one of those committee meetings on a regular basis. That's when we actually kind of draft things, or instead of getting a bunch of council files, that's where we're likely to work on whether we're going to approve them or what statement we would have. So that might be a tangible action for you. And I did just have success with Pam because I want to be the lead for Phillips 66 and, made the ask for an ongoing monthly conversation with the right person. Axel referred me to Pam as that person. I think, Ray will want to be involved and others because it's when we really do our best work. And I'll share, an anecdote with the port where, too, I sometimes feel managed. I know that's part of the city, but I think on, some of the slowness on things like PIP and finding things out, like your office tends to find out more. I sometimes wonder if they just care, what happens there, whereas I know the council member and your staff really care about what the neighborhood councils, think. So even in that, we might, brainstorm to build any request, which I think is really, really good. Finding ways we can engage with you or your counterparts on a regular basis so we are amplifying that community voice, which is important, and then that actual, council persons who has a fair amount of power to actually make, consequences more immediate to the parties who maybe don't want to always listen to community voice. So thank you to both you and Ray for raising that, and I hope when we come back, in August, we'll have some tangible results.
So I think you said you're going to have a monthly meeting with Pamela.
Or at least have asked for one on like Phillips 66. Certain things are going to be.
So I think what would be great is if we can turn that into the monthly meeting and discuss not just Phillips 66, but anything and everything that you wanted to talk about. And I can join that meeting, and her and I could be on that together. We do that with other issues, and we work very closely, especially on infrastructure projects and other planning-related matters. And I'll talk to her about it too.
Great.
I think it would be great to get whoever wants to be on there, and that's our meeting. I will say the committee meetings are a little tough. I've been asked to join additional regular committee meetings. I have 3 neighborhood councils and other evening meetings and events with the councilmen. I cannot devote every single evening to this work. Even though I'm on my phone and working all the time, I don't have the capacity to do it. And my requirement is the 3 neighborhood council meetings, which I'm happy to come to every single month. I can come to an issues meeting here or there, but I don't know that I could commit to it on a regular basis, because if I commit to the issues meeting, then I commit to the outreach meeting for Central, and I commit to the Rec and Parks meeting and then soon I won't even see my family anymore, right? And I have to have that balance.
I didn't want to multiply it that much. I was hoping you'd just like us better and only do ours. No, way.
I love my right hand and my left hand equally.
It's where the joint meetings,
Yeah.
make a ton of sense. And, I'd love to actually see the planning and land use expand. We have Wilmington coming more and, Harbor City, because it does make sense. We don't want to overwork you, and hopefully this wouldn't create tons of meetings. But I do think the issues committee chairs might still think when it makes sense to try to quarterly or something, just have that cadence that works with you or other staff people.
When do you usually have those meetings?
I haven't been on that one, so I'm just helping a friend. Who's leading issues? John?
When do you usually have those meetings?
4th Tuesday of every month.
4th Tuesday.
Right here at the lab.
What time?
6.
Okay.
Mr. President. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, Drew, just one quick question.
Yeah.
In terms of asynchronous communication,
What does that mean?
You coming to meetings,
Mm-hmm.
what is the most helpful for you? Would you like to be CC'd on any, impact statement drafts, or kind of just kept abreast of what our committees are talking about? Or
What's most important to me are when you're looking at something, ask yourself, do I need a city department to get this done? Do I need a city department to help me do this? If the answer is yes, copy me. If you need the help of somebody else in the city of LA to get this moving, then I'm happy to step in and to apply pressure where needed or bring it up to where needed. If it's something that is public safety related, that's something that you would copy your SLOs, your lead officer, Valoni, LAPD. If it's something that is just like working with Lori to organize a clothing drive or organize a toiletries drive or something like that, you could give me a heads up, but it's not necessarily something that I need to be involved in. I think that's a good litmus of when you're looking at it, like, do I need a city department to do this? The answer is yes, then copy me. And I'm happy to help. If it's working with a business and you need something from them, copy me. Like, if it's something that you need somebody to do something for you from the city, or the city can make that person do something for you, then let me know.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Kelly.
I have a question. You know what helps too is understanding understanding who to call about the spraying, knowing which is county, which is city. Because San Pedro is so convoluted with, it's actually separated by a trash can, the city and the county. So kind of knowing that too helps. So I appreciate that you let us know that it is the county that handles that, because now I know people who are having issues with mosquitoes who they call. So that sometimes is helpful too, needing to know who handles what.
And I think, like, when I was on the neighborhood council, that was one thing that I felt that I was missing was, like, I just needed a basic civics training on, like, which department does what and what are they responsible for. If you think it would be helpful, I'm happy to take some time. If you want to do, I can, like, put together a diagram. I can put together city departments. What would also be helpful for me, if you want to think about it here, I'm going to give you my email address, drew.leach, DREW, .LEACH, @lacity.org. Think of all the problems that you have in the city. Send them to me, and I will divide them by what department takes care of them. So if you have things that come to the top of mind, I'll give you a deadline in the next week. By next Monday, if you have concerns, you want to know how this works, you have questions, send them to me in an email. In the subject line, put Northwest San Pedro Neighborhood Council, just so that I know how to put it all together. And I will do this for you, because I think it is so important. I learned more about the city in the first 3 months of working for Councilmember McOsker than I did on my 2+ years on the Coastal San Pedro Neighborhood Council. And so I really want to help you get there, because we are all more powerful when we are more knowledgeable and we have a greater understanding. Ray's been in this forever, but we're not all Ray. Ray knows all of it, and he knows everything. But when it comes to some of us that are relatively new to this, you'll see 2 different trash cans on the street, maybe 3, and you don't know who to report it to. You're like, oh, that's a bus bench trash can. Oh, I have to report it to these people. And oh, that's a metal slotted bin, so it goes to that department. But that's a sanitation one that just the random guys come and pick up once a week. I know all the different trash cans now, and I know who to call based on what they look like. It's kind of crazy, but that's also why 311 is really helpful.
I was just going to say that's 311 has become a very popular number for me now because of issues like parking and different things. Because I live by a school. Yeah. I live in Coastal, but I rep for Northwest. Yeah. So it's kind of funny because it's like, who do you call? 311.
Yeah. Right. 311 is great. And I also have great numbers for parking enforcement for you. And I'll even explain some of the processes. And so I'm happy to help with that. I think if we're all more informed, we are all more powerful. Sorry, Ray, I didn't mean to I hope my miscommunication, I hope, was able to be rectified by the explanation of my concerns that Target was just not taking you seriously, and why I think that a council representative would give you more teeth to hold them accountable to their words when they make you empty promises.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
And it's just this stuff is.
Listen, it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and that's why the councilman himself wanted to give neighborhood councils more power over planning and land use decisions, because he thinks it's really important that you get the representation and that you get to use it, and then it's not just a meeting, but it's like hey, we have a say in what goes on here.
Yeah. John will be our last comment, because we got
just I talked to Nathan a couple of weeks ago, and they've already started repairing area bridges and working their way down Alameda. I take that road sometimes because the bridge is either closed or doing something, so it takes me down from work, because I work down where Rancho Dominguez, where Lori took a beautiful ride. And anyway, they've got half of Harry Bridges already done. They're working their way down to the freeway part, and then they're going to start, he said, working it. So he's hoping by middle of August, end of August, they should be, Alameda will be nice and cleaned up, just so you know, too, Chris. So,
Okay.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Drew. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not sure that we have any other city. Okay, Daniel, you're going to speak for the.
Don't worry, I'm done.
How was your dinner?
Probably take like 3 minutes of your time, just based off what I heard, and then I have very little updates for y'all. I think what I heard here tonight is that I will hold you all accountable once Drew gets you that information. And the reason why I say that with the purest of heart is because what tends to happen is you don't know what you don't know. You didn't know to ask, and oh my God, a light bulb went off because you asked, and Drew's like, I got you, right? And it's no fault to your own that you didn't have that information. You just didn't know to ask, right? Whether it's me as your liaison or your city council rep, right? And so that's why I jokingly say that from the beginning, is because this is when the real work happens at this point. So once you know who's who, what's what, who to call, like that's where your work really starts in the neighborhood council system. I am in support of Drew, so I will make sure I'll do my best to support what she has to offer you all, and I will continue on that work when she's not available to support you all, because that's what I'm actually here for. I think it is okay to differentiate the roles of the city council and the neighborhood council. I'm not going to tread too much on that, but I heard loud and clear. I have thoughts on that, but I'll save that for another time when I'm able to articulate that at best. But what I do know is that for the request that was made tonight, I think it also requires more people in the room in terms of the audience, and those people actually voice those concerns about Target as well. I can identify that for myself as someone who's in the audience and someone that supports you all. I think that's what's missing for me visually, and I didn't hear that in the conversation. I will say within you all's role as leaders of the community and from the community that you do serve, it is a little nuanced, right? Because the passion comes from your everyday life, but then you're like, I sit in this position of power. You should take that as you wish, and that component is very nuanced, and you have to figure that part out. Are you uplifting the community? Yes, but then also I don't see the community fully here. Not to say, maybe they can't make it. That's why you're here, right? So it's very kind of like trying to figure that out. I'm here to sort of balance that out, but that's for us to figure out together. Lastly, before I get into my updates, I will say this is what collaboration looks like. I am glad the moment occurred with the conversation between Ray and Drew and you all. Because I continue to say this as I serve the neighborhood councils I serve, is that I don't do this alone. Empower LA, the city attorney's office, the council office, we don't do this without the neighborhood council. And it's never going to look pretty. It's always going to look like we have to figure this out. And it's not easy for me to do that as your liaison, and it's not easy for your chair to do it as your chair. He needs your support, I need your support, and we just got to figure it out. So the more you ask questions, the more you kind of like dig deeper and try to figure out how to support your neighborhood, the more information you receive. And again, Daniel Johnson expects you to do more work. Because again, you do your CISs, right? Those are, I don't think they're easy, but you have a process for that. But do you have a true process, as I like to tell my South LA neighborhood councils, do a Google, what is it, a Google sheet? Not a Google sheet, the form.
Spreadsheet.
Form. It turns to a spreadsheet. Collect data on target issues from the community residents. Collect that data. Add that into your conversation. We actually have residents that scan this QR code, that fill this out, that sees this all the time, and this is what they have to say. Please include data that you all coordinate and process to your conversations moving forward, not just about Target. That's something I encourage my South LA neighborhood council to do as well, right? Have your data, ask the city for data, et cetera, et cetera. With that being said, July 23rd at 12 p.m., virtually, we have a city planning one-on-one brown bag. A shameless plug right there. July 23rd, 12 p.m., City Planning 101 brown bag. It says, the built environment, homes, parks, roads, businesses contribute to what makes a neighborhood special, but how do decisions get made about where homes to be built, etc.? This is your great opportunity to get some more of that information. This will be an extension of information to what you do within the portal in regards to planning one-on-one. Some folks is like, that's not enough. You do have city planning liaisons. They're a very small unit, like everything else within the city department. I mean, the city council system, the neighborhood council system, right? There's not a lot of city clerk funding reps. There's not a lot of city attorneys for you all, which means there's not a lot of support in other departments, but there is about 1 or 2 for South LA in the Harbor area that you can also reach out to, ask some questions. They're not easily accessible as Drew and I may be, but those folks are there, right? Just so you'll get more information again, July 23rd, 12 p.m. for our city planning one-on-one brown bag. A lot of our brown bags are in partnership with other city departments, and they're recorded and they provide the materials at the end of it all. It's more work, it's more information. I think I had one more and I should be done. Election season, I won't go too far deep in that, so I hope you know we're gearing up for that. I also want to say thank you all for the opportunity. It might be the bylaws committee to present. That's my first time ever presenting. It was more about the formatting and stuff like that. Thank you for allowing me to support you all in that specific part of the process. Because again, I never presented at the bylaws committee and nothing in terms of feedback on bylaws. But I just want you all to know that I am here to support the best way possible. And so if you need anything, please ask, as Adrian did when it came to those bylaws. He was very much a stickler, but a very much needed stickler when it came to those bylaws, and we got them done the best way we could together. So I think I will go ahead and just double check him and digress. I think I got you. I heard everything loud and clear. I'm trying to figure out how I can support my role as a NEA. Again, maybe I may have some more flexibility and opportunity to be present when Drew can't. Invite me if you would like. I'll come all the way down from South Central. This is what I'm supposed to be here for. I don't know you want to be at specific meetings unless you ask. I might be able to fill some gaps, maybe provide updates to Drew on your behalf if you can't do it. Figure out how you would like for me to support you all this upcoming year in my role and my capacity, and I'll do my best to flex or adjust my schedule to support you all in the way I can. And on a lighter note, on the weekends, if you have events, I'm supposed to flex my schedule during the week to support you all by request. I'll take this as an opportunity to say I'll treat it the same. By request, if you need me at a specific meeting, just to say, Daniel, we want your support to just sit here. Don't need you to be here in official capacity to say anything, to support you all. And again, to relay information, I can do that. Just please request it. I just can't think, oh, they might need me. Just request it and I'll support. Yes.
You mentioned a QR code that feeds into the Google Forms. Where do we get that QR code?
You make it up. How to make a QR code, figure it out. Yeah, literally, I'm joking, but literally that's how. Any more tech-savvy folks on the board can support you with that. Creating a QR code and linking that together. Yes, okay. That's how you'll be able to do that.
Okay.
Not specific, but also if you don't want to ask for the support, I wanted to say schedule one-on-one with me. It's your time in support of the president. One-on-ones have nothing to do other than ask your questions. If you just want to get to know me, get to know you. Maybe there is some discrepancies on the board you would like support on, trying to figure out how to navigate. I'm available, but I will say it is confidential, but in terms of times I can support with the president, I will ask for his support on trying to solve or resolve certain issues. Yes.
Yeah, Daniel, thanks for coming. I've got a request for support. I volunteered at the budget day back on June 27th with Melanie, Adrian, and some other folks, and thought I'd try to combine two good deeds by driving an electric vehicle, and saw the visitors area, saying I was there the night before volunteering, parking with a pass for free parking. Saw the sign saying they're now charging, which I expected because we charge at the campus. So plugged in, was charged $8 for electricity use, which is totally cool. But PowerFlex also charged me $238.20 for parking. When I called them,
What?
Wait, rewind. You said who charged what and what?
PowerFlex charged me
Okay.
$8 for the electricity, which I'm cool with. The sign in front of and that was in the visitors section with the electrical chargers that you have down there in the basement on the right level. But then they charged $238.20, which caused my wife to say, "What are you doing?" Like, that's a lot of money.
She said, "Caught you."
She was upset with my volunteering. It became more expensive than we thought. So we called together. She, it comes to money. She's like listening on the phone, trying to get it back. We called PowerFlex. They said, "There's nothing we can do. We need to talk to somebody at the city of LA that handles parking. Here's a number." The number they gave us was for LAX, Airport Authority parking. They said, "We can't help you because you weren't parked at the airport," and they don't know who at the city hall could help us to not get charged $238.20 for the 6 or 7 hours we were there Saturday. Plus, if you are charging citizens $230 a day, I don't think so, but maybe the city should lower the parking rate.
So the clarifying question.
Yeah.
You parked on City Hall East for budget day.
Yeah, with a parking pass for free.
You went to P2.
Went to P2, the visitor area.
When you passed the gates,
Yeah.
on that right-hand side, you're like, "Oh, I can park here, electric vehicle."
Went all the way down to the visitor spot, and there was spots, and there's even signs saying, what to do, that it was like, okay. Didn't say anything about a parking fee being assessed by PowerFlex. So I suspect this is probably new to the city. According to the lady we called 3 times, she said, they got a lot of complaints, but she couldn't put us in touch with the right person. And so
I took notes. I'm so crazy. I took notes. If you could draft it in the email, GSD normally handles parking, but I can get that to someone who handles probably financials in the office, admin clerk, or someone who could patch directly to GSD and ask that. GSD does have a new system. We used to be able to get you all the print parking passes, but connecting an electric vehicle is something new.
Right.
First time I heard of this, it's not many folks in our department have an electric vehicle, but I'll make sure get right to that tomorrow. I'm in the office on Tuesdays and City Hall on Tuesdays.
And more, just I wanted to escalate it so it doesn't happen to others. Like this happening to other people visiting, I don't think it's intended. So something's wrong with that contract. Anyway, thank you. Good to see you today.
No, I appreciate it. It's probably like an after-hours thing too.
Oh my
Now
God.
you know why they don't have electric vehicles.
Oh my God.
Any other questions?
Anyone from the audience?
I don't think anybody can top Thomas's.
Just saying, Drew gave y'all a week turnaround, so after that week, I expect everyone to be participating in the neighborhood councils best they can, outside of events and outreach, right? And I'm also going to make sure I continue to educate myself to provide the information as well. So, 11 neighborhood councils. Grant me some grace as you wish when you can. But other than that, these conversations are supposed to happen. This is what collaboration, I believe, looks like when it comes to the city, our department, and our city partners as well in the neighborhood council. So continue to show up and continue to ask these questions and be involved. I appreciate you all.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, let's see. So we would normally have our law enforcement representative here, but he had a need to be someplace different. So he did send a lot of information to do with fireworks, to do with the crime reports in the area and things like that. Also, the announcement of what the heck is it called? Night Out, National Night Out.
Yeah.
There you go at LEPD. So I don't know if we had any flyers, but in the supporting documentation, it is there.
Night Out Against Crime, they want our neighborhood council to be participating in it.
Okay, I didn't hear anything from Bologna on that
Yeah.
one, but so let's make sure that we get that.
Let me know, and then we'll set up.
I forwarded the email to you, him requesting us participate.
Really?
Yeah.
For which one?
At Night Out Against Crime, he wants us to have our Easy up there like we did last
National
year.
Night Out.
Yeah, on August 4th.
Okay.
Yes, I did see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of information there. Look at the supporting documentation and get a lot of stuff that, you get to see what's happening in the harbor area, in his area, and so on. So it's really informative, but kind of tough to navigate because with all the numbers and everything like that. So give yourself an opportunity to take a look at that data. And I think that takes care of our elected governmental and public safety representatives. Oh, yes.
Since our next meeting is the 10th, but National Night Out is August 4th, do we need to address people being there? Are we definitely
Public
having a
safety
table?
usually does it for Night Out against National Night Out, and so, but it's anybody that wants to come and sit with us too and talk to stakeholders. But normally, public safety is the one that does the easy up.
So we've done in the past, do it, and then
Whoever wants
get,
to come, just get in touch with me.
Yeah, please, because it's really a good event.
It is, and I will need somebody to bring the easy up. I have no way of getting the easy up. It has to be there at 5 o'clock on the 4th to set up. So somebody's got to be able to bring the easy up over there.
Make phone calls to different
Yeah.
people so that they can have an opportunity to get more information from you. Okay? All right. I think that does it. President's meeting with the port. Thomas?
We did have a meeting in June to report on, June 18th. Our president was there, Kane was there. So this one we met 5th floor, the conference center down at the Port of LA here in San Pedro. Highlights, they talked about Fleet Week, so I just wanted to share we had a very non-political 25th anniversary event with 100,000 visitors that came to our LA waterfront area over Memorial Day weekend. 60,000 guests took advantage of the free 4-day expo. It touched 250,000 LA County residents were part of it, whether they were actual sailors or other members, and 8,000 people toured the different boats, including the USS Essex and the U.S. Coast Guard's Halibut and Terrell Horn. Other things of interest would be the North Gaffey Street Beautification Project is now open to the public if you haven't seen it, but that's something that came out of some input from Northwest and other neighborhood councils. The next Board of Harbor Commissioners meeting that applies to us would be the one on July 23rd. Those are at 10 a.m. at Vanning's Landing. And events that still haven't taken place. If you enjoyed the fireworks, you can thank that group. If you enjoyed the Shakespeare by the Sea, which Drew mentioned, you can thank that group. And for those who didn't know what day the World Cup was, I think our president was kidding. The 18th and 19th, they are doing what they call World Cup Fan Zone in the West Harbor. So if you haven't participated in that project, which we've been a big part of with the port, that's your chance to do it. Watch either or both of your favorite teams. It's the top 4 competing for that World Cup. There's a free harbor boat tour, too, coming up at September 26th, if you haven't taken advantage of. I think that's a nice thing the port does. And those are the highlights. I did send the slides at the request to put them in the packet. I don't know what happened. I see they're not in the packet again, but there's a lot more detail than I want to go into right now. But I always try to make that available when Augie shares the slides with us, because it is pretty interesting. And what I was advocating for before is that more of our ideas get listened to by the port, because I'm giving you the cherry-picked list of great things they wanted to tell us. Unfortunately, this meeting, they didn't have a lot of time to listen to things that our president and I and others maybe wanted to give input on future things we'd like done. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Thomas. Any questions?
Yeah, one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom, for the brief report. That's great. Did they mention, I heard that the fencing is coming down, like, from the public walkway. Like, you know how it's been fenced off if you start by, like, the fish market and you go down and, like, by the buildings it's been fenced off. Did they mention anything about that walkway becoming open to the public during that time? Or is it just for the ticketed fan zone people?
I don't recall that. I remember a concern about the death nearby and the park being closed nearby. I don't remember anything about. Do you remember anything about the fencing?
I don't remember them saying anything about that.
Okay. I saw a social media post that talked about the fences coming down. It did not specify whether that was for ticketed people. I mean, I think in order to access the area that the fan zone is going to be in, technically anyone would have to be able to walk that far. So I think to some degree it will be. But I think the fan zones are absolutely fenced off, so there will be a point past which without a ticket you can't get in. But the tickets are free if you sign up early enough, so technically anybody can get in, but not everybody.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think they're free, but there's general admission tickets that are like $10 maybe if they're still
And there are different levels. There were, I think, at some point, maybe at the day of. I'm talking about other fan zones because sometimes after a certain point, they will let people in if there's room, but it depends on which one. This one may not be.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Thomas, for the report. Let's go ahead and get to committee reports. Let's go to the executive committee first. Every year we've gone into the habit of having a retreat. I've checked with LAPD to use their assembly room, and August 15th is available to us.
Is that the afternoon?
Well, it's open. We have it reserved for the whole day, so it's how we need to use it. So
I think the way that we did it last time.
I understand. So I'm wondering, do we want to repeat what we did last time? We got there around lunchtime-ish, and then did the afternoon, or do we want to do it in the morning and work through lunch?
Because it requires us to do breakfast and lunch.
So I think I'd like to get input so that we can maybe plan that. But please send me your feedback so that I can make full arrangements with LAPD as to what time we'll be there. But we do have the opportunity to use it. So I'm hearing the afternoon, as we did last time, was a better fit. So
Well, the afternoon works because we can do more money-wise for having a nice lunch with pickup sticks and all that in order and have it catered and, the whole 9 yards and be able to do more.
To speed it up, could I move we just do a quick poll? Those in favor of afternoon raise their hands. Starting at noon, is that what you're thinking?
yeah, getting there for lunch and then we start working. So
yeah.
And those that want to start in the morning? So, President, you can take
I have to leave by 1:30 regardless of when we start. I have to leave at 1:30 regardless of when we start. So I would vote for morning just because of that.
Okay. I saw some people who did not vote.
I'm out of town that weekend. I'm sorry.
You're not going to be available?
Not at all.
Okay. I'm sorry, what's that?
I didn't know what date it was going to be, so I'll have to go check and call.
Okay, no, that's fine. Okay, the 15th, August. I'm sorry? That's the only date I have reserved with LAPD at this particular time. So I'm hearing afternoon. I'm scheduling from noon to whatever.
Yeah.
With that, I'll go ahead and get back with LAPD and get that thing done.
Or even meet in the middle, Ray. Do like an 11 o'clock and then do lunch. Do a break for lunch. And that way Vic can be there for a good portion of it.
Well, if that's something that everyone would be agreeable to it, I'm hearing afternoon versus morning, so.
I have no preference.
I'm open till 11. If you're starting at 11, are we okay starting at 11?
That's fine.
And then having a small break for lunch.
I'll be a little late. That's it.
You'll be a little late. Okay. Noon. Okay.
45.
Take the vote again. 11 o'clock.
So can we start at 11?
Yes.
Yes. Raise your hand. 11. 11. 11. Okay. 11 o'clock on the 15th.
Time check, it's 8:35.
Yeah, we got to move this thing along. Now, the other thing, too, under the executive committee, I had a conversation with Caltrans. Now, Caltrans is going to be providing air purifiers to community during the time in which the bridge will be shut down. They're available to a certain area around perceived traffic areas. So the website is there. Look at it, see what it's available. And these air purifiers are free. So, but there's some, distances that you have to be aware of. I don't think if you live on Western and you're going to be able to get a purifier from them. But there are certain areas that they will do it, and I think they said something like 750 feet. I'm just doing that from memory, but
I think that's correct.
They approached and said that they do have these for community members. So you have to apply. Go to the website, look at the information, and then again apply if it may apply to you.
I think you're right. I think it's like 750 feet within or around or at least some of the designated detour routes. And I don't think any of us on this council are in those areas, but
probably not.
It would be nice to have them. But there's like an interactive type map on the website that'll show you where it is.
Right. So take a look at it for awareness, and perhaps maybe you know someone who might be that you could direct them to it. Let me see. And I think basically that's it at this particular junction.
So it's a go to order the food and everything now for the retreat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say so. 15. Don't forget, 11 o'clock. We'll put out a thing. All right. Next committee would be Budget and Finance.
Just report that Budget Day was great. A huge turnout. There were 250 people that attended. It's one of the largest attendance of Budget Day that they've had.
Well, they made a lot of money at $230 a day.
Huh? No, they didn't.
I was the only one.
Yeah.
Foolish enough
Off
to
of Thomas. They, but Thomas, myself, and Adrian were all reelected as budget advocates. Adrian and Thomas are both on the executive board. Adrian is the bylaws chair, and Thomas is the vice president of overseeing development. So we have two people on the executive board also. So
good. That's
and
great.
Chris was there doing video interviews, doing a good job.
I was working.
He got my good side. But it was appreciated. I'll just quickly comment. I think it was over 300, and I think we should single out Adrian as a member of the exec before, worked with Miran to create a youth session, which I think helped us reach the highest attendance ever. We had the mayor there, and she was paying attention, so it was wildly successful. And I just want to really thank this new generation of leadership here to get something started, because my goal is to double the number of young people there next year, and whoever the new mayor is to really let people know that we've got to be thinking about the future, from people your age to whoever the oldest is in this room. But I was really proud of Adrian.
good job. Yeah. It was really good. I was impressed. The speakers were really good this year too, and with what Adrian did with the youth thing too. It was awesome.
All right. Way to go, Adrian.
The youngest to the oldest. That's pretty good.
Okay.
My hair's
I'm
still
gonna
dark.
think about that. Anyway, next. That's it for budget advocate report. Okay, public safety.
Public safety, CPAB. Oh Lord, it's going to be the third Thursday of the month. At CPAB at the LAPD station, and then the fireworks. The response I've got, the captain, sergeant, and Valoni all want to meet with Ray and I to talk about the response. Valoni, I talked in depth with him. I talked to the sergeant, and they have no explanation as to what happened. But one of the things that's really disappointing, a lot of people were disappointed because of a lot of the advocacy that they put out for people to report the fireworks, to use 311, and a lot of people did use 311. They reported it, and supposedly they were supposed to be tracking this in real time. Nobody once came to, and I was instructing everybody, call. Nobody once came. Baloney was even blown away that the street that was reported several times that was doing a lot of the fireworks, it says that they went to that street, and the police report says that they saw nothing of concern. And I'm like, you're kidding me. He goes, no. And then there was a second one where they went back at 9:00 p.m. and said the same thing. He goes, this is alarming to me because I'm seeing all these calls and 311 reports on this address, this location. And I said, and he says he saw the one of them shooting him in the park. And nobody responded to that. I watched. I'm one of them that called it in and watched for them to come, and they never did. Then, during the day, before it got dark, we had an incident on Bardale where a neighbor, a garage was open. She took a picture of the garage full of illegal fireworks. And the guy had an Instagram, and she found the Instagram and sent the Instagram and the firework picture and all that to LAPD. They never responded on it. So it's totally, Valoni is beside himself about the lack of response. He is upset because it really looks bad on them. And he is asking for action also as to what happened and where the failures were. So that's something we're going to be addressing, is trying to figure out what happened, why this all failed, why didn't Vice go out to this house immediately when the stuff was sent to them.
I think there's just so many calls and so much going on. It was like a battle.
It was a war zone. It was an absolute war zone. It was the worst time over in the Taper area that I have ever seen in fireworks, ever.
On the side of Capitol, a side of, on my other side of, I mean, and even in front.
Yep.
Boom. Everything was just like.
I just would remind people, because I believe that I asked, it might not have been Valoni at the time, but I asked a senior lead officer at one of these meetings and then separately about the sort of triage that happens for police response. And because of the day in question on the 4th, I had a non-related service call that we had an unbelievable response. Non-emergency picked up almost right away, and officers responded within, I think, about a half an hour, which is miraculous. But that was at like 3 p.m. So the problem is that when people start to shoot the fireworks off, other things that are, by their own definition, higher priority happen. So the explanation that was given to me is that every call of report of, cat up a tree or, dog bites man or whatever will be responded to. However, it goes down the list as other, somebody pulls a knife, somebody has a car crash, somebody steals a purse. Those go to the top of the list. And you could imagine on the 4th of July that a bunch of those other things drunken disorderly or whatever happens, and all of a sudden your thing, which they may have or may not have intended to respond to, get pushed down the list so that in theory they can satisfy their commitment to responding to the calls, but it could easily be the following afternoon.
But the firework report,
and that's the thing.
The firework, that's a failure.
Well, that brings me to my.
To escalate it immediately.
That brings me to my question for them, which I was hoping we'd have addressed tonight, is that I can't imagine that they didn't already know that would happen, right? So if they're making a commitment to follow up on fireworks calls, they have to understand their own process that's already in place. So did they put additional resources on fireworks? Why didn't they show up? So it's clearly that something that we were told was going to happen didn't happen, and I don't think it was accidental. I don't think that it was. I mean, it's pretty bold for me to say that we were being lied to, but they talked about drones. They talked about this response and dedicated resources.
I didn't see it,
and we didn't see any of that. So it's too big a gap to sort of chalk it up to benefit of the doubt. Clearly, someone gave up on this program before it had a chance to start. So
exactly.
I'd like to know why.
See, in the Taper area, why it was so bad, I think, is because this individual on Bardale had the garage full of fireworks, the illegal fireworks, and he was selling them to everybody in the neighborhood.
So I would like to ask that before the 4th of July Public Safety Committee start having meetings with LAPD so that we know what the plan is, so that we can have maybe an opportunity to advocate for our community. Because I did get someone who came to me and said, Ray, LAPD, there was a group of neighbors who were out in the middle of the street shooting off fireworks. LAPD cruised by, saw it, and continued to cruise.
I heard that too.
You know, so I mean,
It happens.
so yeah, and so they're saying, well, I thought these were illegal. Well, that's why I think our conversation needs to happen ahead of time
Yeah.
to get clear understanding of what we can do beforehand. Because I honestly believe they don't wait till the 4th of July to pop these fireworks. You know,
They start days in advance.
they start exactly days in advance, and they can be out there getting those guys right then and there before the 4th.
Actually, it was weeks.
Well,
Capitol, the guy, whoever's on over there by Capitol, and that's.
So I want to put in place a plan, public safety, to start this conversation way ahead of time.
Okay.
And it's actually sort of to circle back, this might be an opportunity to bring in the council member's office, because I think in a similar fashion to Target, you have a large, relatively powerful entity who doesn't necessarily feel that we can cause problems for them. And so if they tell us something and they don't follow up, well, what can we actually do about it? So I think maybe we need to link arms with someone who can actually do something about it. And at the very least, everyone will hear whatever it is they have to say at the same time. And then at this point next year, if we're having the same complaints, we will have a list of, like, on this day we would discuss A, B, C, D, and none of it happened. So, you know.
And what I would like to also suggest is that conversation also include the fire department.
Yeah.
Because the fire department have eyes out there too. But I think we would like to heavily on the police, and perhaps maybe the fire department can help us identify those things. So we have ahead of time fire, LAPD, and if appropriate, and if work we can do it, the council member's office. I saw Christina's hand up, and then I'll just go around here. Christina?
So it seems to me like we've had severe issues for I think since COVID for fireworks, and people seem to ignore that they're illegal. Our police department doesn't appear to be able to handle all the calls or something. It seems like we do have to have the councilmen get involved, and we need to have people accountable for this, and a $25,000 fine would make people accountable.
Yeah,
So-
a larger fine.
Because the fines don't do anything, they're not collected, people, flake out on everything. And I think it's a serious matter that impacts health, environment. It affects so many different things. And the fact that this year we actually got to see from the International Space Station video footage of LA exploding, that I think is something real that we could then present and say, $25,000 fine, done, because we need to do something significant.
I heard that there is a community close by around us that they were actually getting reports of people with fireworks. They were observed, and they were sending them tickets through the mail after the fact. So, even if they don't have the time to respond, if we can document it and tickets can be issued to these people, hey, maybe we can get a discount on the parking and P2, so if we substitute it with, some of these fines that apparently some communities already have in place.
Yeah.
And, that might be an option for us to think about.
Well, you remember, Maloney did say at the last meeting that they were going to have more drones out this year.
They did. There was a lot of drones.
I never saw
I
any.
saw maybe one,
Where I was, there was a lot.
Yeah. April.
I have two questions. One question is, were there any fires due to the fireworks? But my second question is a huge fire that was right under the Channel Street Bridge.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gwen, who's not here. She immediately texted me a picture while she was driving about the fire, and I was able to alert my skateboard community. They couldn't even go down there because the entire skate park was engulfed with smoke. And I was literally at the airport on my way to Portugal, and I was like, thank you so much. And then she had given me a quick update from you about it. But I'm wondering, safety, was that anything to do with the fires, or do you have any updates on that?
I think it was. I think there was fireworks going off over there also because
it was from an encampment.
The biggest thing that I can't wrap my head around, people are struggling financially, people are having problems feeding their family, paying their rent, eating, and everything else. But they've got a shitload of money, to buy fireworks, these expensive fireworks. And it's like, I can't wrap my head around it. There's people all over the place that have these.
So I want to remind us about the time, so we really can kind of move on. And so I also have Kelly, and I don't know if there's any other questions. But
I just want to know what I would like a list of what the protocols are. What if they get a response? So they get a call about fireworks. What is there a criteria that they have to meet to come and do it? How is that? How is it designated to?
Yeah.
Because we can say, oh, we called the police, and they came by, but is there a criteria of, okay, there's fire going on, or there's this going on, or that they respond, or how they respond to it? Because I have noticed that since in years past, we had a lot more fireworks before and after the 4th of July than we have now.
Right.
So I think that they maybe when it's just one area or one person or whatever, they're able to concentrate and take care of that. Because I've noticed that there's a lot less before and after. But on the actual 4th of July, it's like going through a war zone. And by my house, you can tell where all the fishermen live because it's all seal controls.
It's all what?
Seal controls. The big booms.
The
ones they use on the boats to get
they
the
have
seals
explosives
off
that drive seals away from fishing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And you can tell that that's an area of that because that's what they have primarily is the seal controls. But anyway, I want to know what the criteria is. How do they determine where they're going to respond to and whatever? And are they doing a ticket thing after, which would be wonderful to know.
So I'm being conscious of the time. We really got to move on. I'd like to close out this agenda item and go on to our next one, bylaws and election committee. Adrian, anything you'd like to talk about?
Very, very quickly, we had a meeting on June 30th to just finalize our bylaws. Everything's been finalized. It's the right format. So I believe I sent everybody a copy of the newest edition, so you should have that in your emails. And then the last thing is with elections, May 22nd of 2027 will be our election. They're doing it in groups, so 2 regions per the scheduled day. The candidate filing will be in late January, so next winter and spring it's coming soon. So
you did mail the bylaws out, or
I sent it out to everybody. Everybody should have an email.
Yeah, we got it. I don't think I got it.
Okay, well, look and then get in touch with them.
And then that should be it. And then pretty soon, I'm saying maybe later in the fall, we'll start working on outreach or so. Just a reminder that if you are running again in 2027, you may not be a part of the outreach for elections. So just keep that in mind. So we have some plans, and we'll come out later.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
I sent the email.
Oh, yes, I did see it.
Adrian, when did you mail them?
Can we talk about that later? Because we got to get out of here.
Yes, we can talk about that later.
We have community issues, environment, sustainability, planning, land use, youth and outreach, and Christensen Science Center. Anything that I see Christensen Science Center probably is a no. Anything of stuff nothing from issues?
Can I ask a question about that?
Yes.
Is environment and sustainability planning on meeting? Is that?
Good question.
Yes, we were just putting on the books for our next meeting. However, it is National Night Out, so we're going to have to get together and choose a different date.
Next meeting, does that mean there have been some?
We had our first one, which is why we had the motion on the agenda regarding the groundwater, the one that was due by July 24th.
I'm sorry, I'm on that committee. I didn't even see that you were meeting.
You know, when we have our retreat, we're going to go over all the committees and leadership and committees and set the dates and all that. So we'll fix that.
Okay, thank you.
Give her a copy of it because she won't be here.
Who?
Yeah, she won't be here.
Oh, you were not going to be here.
Right, but I can read the minutes. Like, I can get the update. I was
Okay,
they had met,
that's cool.
and I know I'm on the committee.
That's right. So, okay. Anything from environment, sustainability? Said anything? Everything?
Just that there is going to be a motion or something's going to be happening for Parks and Rec. Rec and Park.
Which one?
It'll be on the ballot for November, and I believe it's for a 20% increase for their budget. So that's coming, but I don't have a lot of information about that.
Okay.
And then we have several other things, but I think we can address it at the next meeting.
Okay. Planning and land use? Anything quick?
Quick report. We have had presentations the last few meetings, including one last week by John Gibson, in favor of that. We've not yet drafted a new statement in support, but we also haven't drafted a statement in opposition, as this group has done twice before. But we may it will be on the agenda for the joint planning and land use. So if you have issues on that and want us to stay the course and go with the council person, I have seen other neighborhood councils have been voting in support, like Coastal and Central. And then to save time, Chair Kane sent a written report of what we've accomplished in the first 6 months of this year, which was sent to the president. So if you can get a copy to the secretary and put those in the minutes, that can suffice for the rest of the report.
Okay. Youth and outreach?
No report.
Okay. Okay. In the essence of time, we have liaison reports. I'd like to kind of keep that, say that we're finished with that, and remind everyone that we have a meeting Monday, August 10th, 6 o'clock. Ben, I'm hoping you can reach out to Vic so that he can help you put, all the different stuff together.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Did you know what time Vic left for the minutes?
I noticed that he left at, I think it was like 8:40 something.
I'm sure he'd appreciate you get that time right.
8:50. Any last comments from anyone? Chris?
Just one, and it actually pertains to this moment. I had a conversation with the manager of this facility a couple of weeks ago, and she reiterated, I'd like to emphasize to everybody here, we really do need to be out of here, like not wrapping up. We need to be out of here at 8:30. It's a hardship for them, and so each of us individually will have to talk less. Don't take your third bite of the apple because you're excited or whatever. The time that we use, including the time I'm speaking right now, is time you borrow from everyone in the room, and it needs to be to their benefit, not for your own self-expression. So we have to, whether that means rationing time per agenda item or per speaker, we need to do that to respect the park staff, because it has to do with whether or not they get home on time like this.
Another item we'll discuss during our retreat. All right. Without objection, I call this meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned at 9 p.m. Monday, July 13th.
Thank you, Ben.
It never happened at 9 p.m. That's how we get out of here. It's by 7 time. So we just call.